Folks, welcome back. It's time for our second and final best of 3 of the day. After this series is over, we're down to just 4 teams dialing in to find out one team who's going to qualify and represent Southeast Asia at the Summit 3 LAN Finals this May. It's CSW taking on Mineski, GoDz. I know Mineski, they've got some very big fans. CSW also have their hardcore fans from Australia, so I think these are 2 of the teams that have some of the most ardent supporters out there as far as SEA goes.
Some diehard fans. Volume-wise, Mineski have a few more fans.
Yes.
Just a few. I don't know.
They were the first esports organization to break 1 million Facebook likes.
They're like 1.6 million.
Even before Navi or, you know, Fnatic or Virtus Pro.
Had Navi reached 1 million? I don't know.
I think Fnatic reached 1 million. Now, they have a very long history in esports, going back to like
Navi's at 1 million. They're at 1.1.
But Mineski got there first.
Mineski did it ages ago. They did it years ago when these orgs were at like 500,000. So yeah, like you say, they did it first. These guys have a lot of fans, a lot of people rooting for them, but they got to deliver the goods.
Yeah, and historically they tend to have the fans, but not the results to back them up. But with that said, let's see if they can get on the track to it. Game 1 has begun, guys. The draft is underway. This is, of course, a best of 3, and as mentioned, an elimination match. Look at these bans from Mineski, very targeted towards what CSW like to run, that pesky Beastmaster. Banned first phase, I think, more than anything, just because he opens up options for CSW. They can throw their Tinker in there for Musica if they'd like. They don't have to. They can also go for more of an Aura-type strat. Both of these will be denied. First overall pick being held by Mineski, so they'll either get their hands on a Sniper, a Bat Rider, if they want, something along those lines, quite likely. No Troll, though. Troll's been banned.
Yeah, the Bat's still being there, and that's something we saw Jesse Vash use pretty damn well throughout the tournament so far. So I think there's a good chance they go for that. The other option is they go for the Venge, which Mineski were also kind of prioritizing in some of their previous series. So being on the dire side, always nice to have that Wave of Terror, the Vengeance Aura as well, like as a duo as far as bringing down Roche. But instead, it's the Mineski special, the Queen of Pain. It's the lane dominator. It
was actually first phase ban most games versus them.
Yeah, it was two of the 3 games. I think they used it in game 1 of their best of 3 yesterday. Was it? Where game 1 they won with it, and then game 2 and 3 banned out. They weren't allowed it.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think that was right as far as the ban order. I don't.
Rave.
I'm not really sold on it though. It's a strong hero. Like. I don't mind teams drafting to their strengths, but now you've given a team Bat Rider and Venge. Yep, and what do you have to show for
not
it?
a problem. I mean, it's definitely a slight problem, but
they are going with what's comfortable for them. This I like though. Oa gets the I'm not sure about the Quap, but I really like the Oa Shaker. I think we saw his Chen yesterday. It was actually pretty underwhelming, to be honest, but his Earth Shaker did a lot of work in the game that they won. So this I like.
Yeah.
This is definitely bread and butter Mineski.
Exactly. They're picking to their strength, their comfort zone, and this is where they do their best, I think, rather than saying, oh, your Bat Rider is your top tier pick, let's just go straight for that. No, when they're causing their upsets, they've taken games, like even going back to the DAC Asia qualifiers, they took a game here or there of some of the teams that actually made it past the qualifier to the main event. They were doing so with their own picks and with their own playstyle.
I think if you're CSW, if you're not going to pick Wisp, then you ban it here just to avoid that tiny Wisp combination.
That's a good point, because you can easily run that. They've done in the safe lane. The Quap goes mid. The Earthshaker just roams around, helping out the off lane, helping out mid.
And Venge Bat Rider are not really like the ideal combination to deal with that. CSW will ban a Drow for now. Yep. And Shadow Fiend quickly removed.
Sort of Jesse Vash Drow, as far as having that with a triple range core lineup, and you can even offensive trialing with it in Mineski's case, as they did last time they picked it. So.
Yeah, that was when they 2-0'd their first series.
Well,
we'll see if they want to ban the Wisp. I mean, it's in their name. How can they forget? Maybe they can't spell it, but
hopefully the hero.
The name's changed actually. Maybe this is going to throw them for a loop. It's an IO now. That's one of the few heroes that. You know, most heroes, when they got their name changed in Dota 2, people get really upset if you don't use their quote-unquote real name. Nobody seems to mind then when you call IO Wisp. I've had so many people get, like, enraged if I call Wind Ranger Windrunner. Nobody cares if you call Wisp IO. It's interesting.
Or IO Wisp. Yeah. No, it seems the two are just kind of like they're two separate names for the same hero, but Wind Ranger and Windrunner, I guess, so similar that you have to choose one or the other, LD. You gotta you could be on one team or one of the two teams, but with the IO Wisp, I guess it's just two different names that are different enough that it's no longer the names aren't competing amongst one another.
Huh. Silencer ban.
What do they have in mind that I worry about?
Well, one thing is a big AoE combo. I was gonna say like the silencer can be really good with a Bat Rider just to guarantee that lasso pickoff. It's not really a hero that Mineski have been running. I'm gonna double check that. But.
So we get Tinker. There's a Chains Tinker. This is a CSW special. They did lose a game with it during the summit, but they've had success elsewhere. They beat Arcanus in other events using this hero, and it's one of their it's kind of a go-to as far as this third, fourth pick stage goes if they feel it can fit in, and they've got the good heroes to kind of play around it and protect it and create space for a Tinker. So
the Tiny Wisp is still a possibility. The Wisp is a little weak against Tinker though, just because he has so much burst damage.
Yeah.
But there is some kill potential in the lane, and especially if that Earthshaker rumbles in. Other options for Mineski, looking at some of their recent drafts, they tried for that TA anti-mage duo. That did not work out. We saw the Spectre game. Jay tried to rush a Naked Relic, basically. It didn't work. The games where they won, they were playing more aggressive early to mid-game. Centric Lamps, the Drow was a part of one of those. The last, I mean, looking at their wins, most of them have been these more early to mid-game style drafts.
Well, Skyreth fits in nicely to those, so they're not going to reveal too much as far as core heroes go, but get a support who can shine in the lane stage and in that early to mid-game point. And well,
looks like a lot of early pressure here for Mineski. Good pick-off potential. They can gank this Tinker early. They can keep the Bat Rider out of lane. Their lanes are going to be very strong. But what will they fall back to after that laning stage? Still waiting to see what the big picture plan is.
Yeah, what hero is Jay going to be on as far as the carry go, whether it's some late gamer where they didn't... The Spectre pick they tried yesterday was a big flop, and I don't think they'll necessarily take that direction again, but Anti-Mage is an okay possibility. There is still CSW yet to pick their carry. That's where if they see something like an Anti-Mage, they're very likely to get physical damage. A Troll, a Jug, something that matches up nicely against said Anti-Mage, so... Something you'd more likely save for your last pick, and yeah, they're gonna pick a Storm, something a bit more versatile, and that there isn't really good hard counters to just yet. The Bat Rider Lasso is some initiation, but they haven't got the greatest mix of, I guess, stuns and silences to lock him down.
I'm really glad to see a team actually respecting the Tinker and counter-picking him. We did see CSW go Tinker and lose to a super fat Queen of Pain, but the Queen of Pain is not that reliable Tinker counter. This is. The Storm can find him, hunt him pretty much anywhere. Like you said, there's not reliable ways to deal with him. There's no Hex here. They don't have the Silencer, of course, as he was banned out. And CSW now, well, with this Enigma pick, we know their supports. They'll be looking for their final core. Probably want a little physical damage to balance out the draft, as they're very heavy on nuke damage and just single target pick-off right now.
Be careful in case it gets kited too badly. Storm and Queen of Pain, great mobility inside of a fight with Ball Lightning and Blink, and that's where melee carries may struggle a little bit. Troll slightly better because of the phase Sanjin Yasha giving him a lot of movement speed and the fact that he can go into range form, but even the Troll could struggle a bit. They may lean towards something with added mobility. We've seen some Cormorana, you've got the Leap there, but something different direction may be on the cards for CSW. Because of the Storm Queen of Pain dual core.
Huh. They banned Weaver.
Have not seen Weaver in a long, long time.
The one thing that Weaver is a pretty independent laner. That said, Queen of Pain, Storm, Skyreth is... I mean, this whole Mineski draft really deals with Weaver very well.
That seems like an odd ban.
I think they're more just... They want to kind of limit CSW's laning stage presence, get something that... Force them into something a bit weaker so they can maybe punish the other lanes harder. Not have to worry about this Venge and Enigma just constantly camping mid to protect that Tinker. But, I mean, you could always run, like, a Wind Ranger, I was going to say. Marana's another option.
So something that doesn't get kited too poorly by a Storm Queen of Pain. You've got Leap as a mobility spell, which is where the Jug Troll just aren't quite as strong against these two core heroes. But
yeah, good laning hero. Mineski, now pick number 5. Very heavy on the magic damage as well. Do they want a little right-click here to balance out the draft?
And that's where CSW banned the Medusa, maybe considering that Mineski won't be running the Queen of Pain Storm in the mid and the safe lane. Queen of Pain can go offlane, especially with the help of an Earthshaker, if they want to pick up some more right-click oriented safe lane farmer for Jay. Alternatively, they do a Queen of Pain safe lane solo versus Bat, Storm mid, and offensive trialing with the ES Scarith Mage +1. They are up against an Enigma lineup, so there will be a 3v2 laning setup if they can get that with Enigma kind of out of the picture.
Yeah, who are those aggressive trialing carries at this point?
It doesn't have to be like a big right-click carry. Something like even like a Wind Ranger is okay. If you go, that's kind of like a old school kind of farming thing that like the old Orange Esports lineup used to do a lot of with the offensive trial lanes. But ideally, you want something with like some range nuke potential. It doesn't have to be a pure right-click carry. Other options, I don't know. Wind Ranger is kind of the one that sticks out for me. Your like silencer type heroes are okay. That's banned out. It's gonna be a Spectre though, so they're gonna safe lane it. They're gonna.
Well, Tinker is not gonna have a fun game if Mineski have any kind of a decent start. This is like a Tinker hate draft basically.
It is. I'm not convinced on Spectre actually being a counter pick to Tinker in general. Like, as far as how the two heroes match up against each other, Tinker's burst damage is actually one of the better ways of dealing with a Spectre. But yeah, you've got Storm, you've got Queen of Pain. The big picture-wise, Mineski have plenty of ways of dealing with a Tinker. I just think like Spectre as an individual hero is not a counter to Tinker.
Well, he is in the sense that he scouts him out, and you can't just hide. Also cancels the blink, so then he can't run away. You don't need to solo kill him. You just need to set up for your team. And they'll get the vision with Haunt, then Storm just balls in, and they can just look to jump him and bring him down. That's the game plan for Mineski. Now, that said, they are running the Spectre. Last time Jay played this hero, he got greedy, tried to rush that Relic with just phase boots, and he got punished. We'll have to see if he goes for the same build, or if he'll be allowed to just sit AFK farming away.
We've got things unraveling here. In Game 1, best of 3 elimination match. Either CSW or Mineski is going home after this series. We'll be down to 4 teams. We'll see who's going to join the 2 MVP squads as well as Rave in that top 4.
Oh, yeah. It could be an all-Korean, all-Filipino Final Four, GoDz, if Mineski pulls through here. You'd have Rave, who's kind of straddling both sides of the equation, depending on how you want to categorize them, and then Mineski is your clear Filipino representatives, and MVP Phoenix, MVP Hot 6, standing strong for the Korean Dota fans. It's been quite a run for that scene as of late, and we'll see if Mineski can join the party in the meantime. They'll be looking to. CSW representing Australia, some of the other SEA regions as well, or countries I should say, but we get underway now, guys. Game 1 of a best of 3. Jay going to be on your Spectre here for Mineski on the Dire side. They move towards the Radiant jungle. They want to contest the Enigma early on. RR on the Skywrath. Jesse Vash, your Storm. Oa handling the Shaker, and it is going to be Cuckoo on the Quap. 3-4-3 now. Going to scout things out a little bit. And we'll introduce CSW. He's playing the Vengeful Spirit on the Radiant side. Musica playing that farming Marana. It's GoDz on the jungle Enigma. It looks like Chains will be handling your Tinker, and Tootie will take over the offlane as the Bat Rider.
So early swing into the Radiant jungle. As per usual against Enigma, block as many camps as possible. But Spectre not the best level 1 hero to push in. So they'll block some of the big camp and the pull camp, but Enigma still has his 2 main camps on the far left side to use as far as his early game jungle goes.
Yeah, he should have a pretty good time here. It's more, I feel like with Mineski, it's less about actually shutting down the Enigma as far as like boarding the camps go, and more either kill him or punish the fact that you're running Enigma in the first place by just ganking this mid lane, constantly attacking the bottom lane. And they'll be trying to pivot around and just force him back early. They are continuing to play aggressively, though. Very confident movements. Oa swinging towards mid. Wants to maybe set up a fissure on Chains.
Wants to body block,
it looks like. Okay.
Oh, actually, Sentry comes in and drops a Sentry. That's an important Sentry to have. GoDz has not bought Sentries of his own. I think based on the early game scout, they did not expect Earthshaker or anyone to have blocked this big camp, but Earthshaker moves in very late. He's kind of trapped and pincered here. Venge coming in from the side with boots, and I was in trouble.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a boots Venge LD. I think he's in quite a bit of trouble.
They have the Skywrath pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, if he walks that way, though, he might even just get surrounded here. Okay.
There's a Tinker already rotating.
Or he can just walk to the left. Okay.
What are you doing, bench?
Now, are the creeps going to block Oa? No, lumber away. This is not the direction Oa wants to go. If you walk back to his Skywrath, might have had a chance, but now it looks like it'll probably be your first blood unless he can deny to Ancients here. That's the only way out for Oa at this point. He's going to walk. Now, realizes his plight. Dragons, not enough. First blood. Well, I guess it works out for 343 that he completely lets him walk away at first. That was a very awkward little engagement there.
Yeah. Enigma not going to have many camps, but 343 happy with the first blood money. Has boots first, and
he did block the camp, though, yeah, so it's still pretty devastating to the Enigma.
Enigma needs, well, someone needs sentries ASAP. Venge picks up the sentries for the team and is going to go look to deward this camp here. So should be able to do so with relative ease. It's a pretty common spot to put the block. You'll have to use a Tengo to get there, but pretty straightforward stuff, assuming 343 is clued in. Where is he, though? He's not finding it. Tengo through. You can do it, 343.
It's going to be too late, it looks like. Yeah. Even if he does deward it, this will be 2 spawns that are blocked now.
Yeah, that's maybe they think the Earthshaker manually body blocked it, which is where it's like, oh, we didn't find a sentry. The Earthshaker just came in and body blocked it. That's why he was in such a bad position. But
yeah, it's possible.
They'll soon find out what actually happened here. Enigma at least has a... actually, no, he doesn't even get the double camp. So yeah, they miss a lot of these D-wards. Both sentries falling short. One actually, well, in range, but not actually scouting out the D-ward. So Enigma's jungle are going to be slowed down immensely.
His jungle will be slow. We can introduce our lanes here and talk a bit about them as well. Cuckoo going to be playing your safe lane Queen of Pain up against the Batrider. Has 10 stick charges, just can constantly spam out his nukes. Batrider is CSing pretty well. Queen of Pain about even with him. In the mid lane, early on, it's a Storm slightly up on the CS, but Chain's getting the upper hand as far as harassment goes. Jesse Vash will desperately need his bottle to come out. And then bottom Spectre farming well. So across the board, it looks like even trades top and mid, more or less, and then in this bottom lane, your Spectre coming out on top. Normally the Enigma's the X Factor, but of course with the failed D-wards, it's not going to be a very rapid X Factor.
Yeah. Interesting to see Jesse Vash in the mid lane too, normally playing that kind of initiator type role in the off lane, but with this draft, with the Spectre going into the tri lane and Queen of Pain as a safe lane solo, put Jesse Vash on maybe a slightly less comfortable
role. They're going to go on Musica here. I think they have a fissure. Nope, no follow-up. Had the concussive shot.
He's got
but
leap,
a bit
so
too far away.
Yeah, a good cost-effective harass, and Earthshaker has clarities to heal himself. Actually gets his clarity cancelled, but yeah, Mirana not really in too much danger. And still haven't dewarded these camps. Enigma's jungle getting destroyed here. Just level 3. We're approaching 4 minutes very quickly. Just has these 2 medium camps. The big camp finally gets unblocked here by just the sentry expiring.
Level 3 at 4 minutes. At this point, you'd be 5.5, 5 at least if you're having a decent time of it. It's slow. At the same time, what have the Dire supports done outside of that? They haven't gotten any kills. Mirana's still getting her levels bottom lane. Is running out of regen. The other 2 solos are doing fine for CSW. It's obviously not good, and that it could be a lot more farm for Enigma, but I feel like Mineski haven't done too much with their supports either.
Yeah. And CSW looking to keep their supports active. 343 smoked up, headed towards top lane. It looks like they want to go for a kill on Cuckoo. He's expecting he's just going to straight up 1v1 matchup with 2D, but that could quickly change with Venge swinging around from the side with a stun.
It's a level 5 Batrider as well. Has the stick charges. Wave of Terror going to cancel the salve. Now the blink out, though. That new long-range blink, just a little too much. Actually, is Reeve really diving for this? He is. 6 napalm charges up. How did he even keep it going that long? Didn't look like it would be able to preserve the stack count, but it doesn't matter in the end. He'll make it out.
They do lose Mirana while all that was going down. It looks like a big T1 tower dive down bottom in the trees. Mirana dies, and the T1 tower down below half HP, so...
Quap's come right back. Wants to find 343. What are you doing in the tree line there, Bubba? Cuckoo. Very confident play from him. He wants this kill and then wants to blink out. 343. This is a level 2 Shadow Strike. I don't think it's quite enough.
Yeah, with the Tengo should be okay. And
very close, though.
2D will at least...
Cuckoo's either he needs a salve now or he just needs to go back to base. This is this is a little too much harass he's up against.
Well, Cuckoo finds it.
Oh my god, did he really?
It was a blind blink screen.
Just move my camera.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big fail.
I don't blame him.
Sorry, viewers.
I kept an eye on it, and
Fire LD.
Cuckoo even had to guess because he blinked. Like, you can hide either above or below the seat, that little side shop, and he guessed correctly, like a 50-50 chance, and he guessed correct. Also, the Venge could have TP'd home. Venge waited around, didn't TP, and then Queen of Pain guessed right. So it was just everything lined up perfectly for Cuckoo.
On top of that, they are farming exceptionally well on their Storm and their Spectre. And with the Enigma being slowed down a lot, it feels like there's not too much elsewhere on the map that's really going for CSW. 1,500 gold lead for Mineski after giving up first blood. That's a 2,000 gold swing. And CSW with a very slight 1,000 experience advantage. They haven't shut down the Storm before he hits level 6. Chains is farming pretty well mid. That's a little piece of good news for the CSW fans, but it does feel like a lot of the way this game develops just comes back to the failed D-wards off the bat. It's really hurting CSW.
It really is. And that's where there's not even that many jungle stacks for your Tinker. The Enigma's like, I'm so far behind, I've got to farm the jungle myself, so he can't even be farming the right side of the jungle while leaving like Tinker to stack some camps for himself, so GoDz now approaching level 6, should have it fairly soon, but it's a fairly late level 6. And this just seems like almost a common theme with these Tinker games we've seen so far in SEA, that the team with the Tinker always just seems to be playing from behind. It's never a good start for a Tinker draft, just because of the hero's kind of lack of ability to do much in the early game laning stage.
What did EG pick when they ran Tinker? It was like Lone Druid Tinker, or when they did in DAC?
The one game where they crushed with Tinker was when Sumail destroyed Arteezy mid, and I think it was a Tinker versus Dusa, was it? And he got like a really good block and zoned him out.
What was like the other heroes?
They had a Phoenix. I think it was with the Phoenix Treant, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like we've part of the issue is maybe that some of these other teams are just not like giving the Tinker enough space. Like, they're running Enigma and Bat. Even if the camps are not blocked, you still like probably the Bat's taking all the camps. So you don't have those big fat stacks to talk back to. I feel like with EG, when they won't go for the Tinker, it seems that they focus on getting his stacks out, picking independent laning heroes who can create space rather than taking the farm and set them up for success. Maybe that's a factor here.
We'll get a freebie in the jungle. Enigma finds your Skywrath Mage, and yeah, trying to post up at top lane as well. Music has already thrown one arrow at this top lane, though, so I don't see this, at least actually, Cuckoo should expect the Mirana to be nearby.
The positioning might be perfect,
yeah,
though. It looks like he's if Cuckoo doesn't sidestep this is right now the arrow's flying true.
He does know the Mirana's up top, I guess, which is where he should be somewhat wary of potential positions where Mirana can be, but we'll see if he's active and ready with the reaction here. So Unpause comes out, and Cuckoo gonna move.
Got him!
Not gonna do so.
They have lasso. Cuckoo has his level 3 Scream as well as the ultimate. He blinks out. Oh, what? The Starstorm somehow follows him, but still they bring down the Batrider. They may be able to chase down Musica with the phase boots up. Earn charge there, and Jay needs one more auto tech to get this kill. Phase are going to cool down, and Jay is going to go for it. It's going to take a while, though. Maybe another negative earn charge. He just needs the vision. Musica juking. Juking hard. In the meantime, Enigma actually goes down in the Radiant Woods. He will fall, and they may find Music in the end. They get the earn charge. That'll be the death of your Mirana. Bimbo connects. Make it 2 for him. 3 heroes around the map. That's costly. I didn't see how the Storm kill happened, but what else could possibly go wrong for CSW? They're against Storm Spectre, and they're losing the landing stage. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is worrisome, and it's not like they have the Enigma farming the jungle, getting uncontested farm. The Enigma's got a pretty slow item progression, not really finding the kind of levels you'd like to find. Normally you want to hit level 6 at latest around 5 minutes in and go for that early black hole for a solo kill somewhere on the map, like on a Storm Spirit or a Queen of Pain or a Spectre, but we're not really seeing that. And now enough time's gone by that Mineski going to be ready for that black hole gank to come.
Yeah, not to mention they didn't even take the tower. Normally, like, this tower has just been dead every Enigma game we've seen on Radiant, but not the case here, GoDz. They may even set up a kill on the Mirana bottom. They have the Queen of Pain ulti at the ready. They can just get that Skywrath Ancient Seal off. It'll be a Musica frag, but he's actually the one on offense. He pops the Moonlight Shadow. Dire team did not see this, it looks like. Yeah, nobody scouted. They'll try to set up on Cuckoo with Avenge Stun and Arrow follow-up. Starstorm level 3 is coming in. The blink out is there, though. Cuckoo's going to survive, and they also went in top at the same time onto Jay. They commit a lasso, as well as a black hole. That Spectre will end up dying. Has a buyback, but no haunt, so he'll just have to let it go. That was a cool move by CSW. They Moonlight Shadow gank 2 sides of the map simultaneously. They only get the 1 kill, but I like the maximizing of that. As the Mirana will die bottom lane, at the same time they go in on top. Onto Tootie, can he finish the job? Jesse Vash gets that last auto tag right before the blind effect comes out. Mirana did drop bottom as Queen of Pain ult was committed. Action all over the map as the rockets splash in onto Jesse Vash and Noah. Tinker BOTs are officially online. Good timing.
Better timing than we've seen in some of the past ones. Uh-oh, 3-4-3. Easy pickings at bottom lane. This TP going to have to get cancelled, I imagine. Yeah, Tinker.
I really like the fact that Jay has adjusted his build. We saw yesterday that he went for that Relic Rush. This time around, he's gone for the Urn. You can see it's important this... Although, well, I was praising his item selection, but he's still face-tanking arrows. I still like the item build. Well, okay. He'll go Blade Mail here.
Wow.
That's a very... This is an item that has a lot of debate around it. I know Havost for a while was like rushing Blade Mail on his Spectre back when he was playing it a lot. His Chains might just get a freebie on Owen. No,
I think it's super situational. And one of the situations where it is very good is against the Tinker.
Yeah, the Blade Mail's great versus the March. Also, against his burst damage.
All of Mirana's spells, you can actually Blade Mail like as she casts them. You see the Starstorm coming. You see an arrow coming. So if you're going to get hit by it...
just tank the arrow intentionally, get that Blade Mail off. Yeah,
it's doable. Like you don't want to follow the arrow with a Starstorm in that case until the Blade Mail wears off. So
this seems like he saw that. Like he looked at the replay for the game the other day, and he's like, "I need to do a build that lets me be more active early." But then he's taking it to the extreme. Yeah, it could be a good extreme, or it could be a little too much. In the meantime, Jesse Vash able to ball in, roll in bottom, clean up the Mirana again. Musica not having that carryless Shrek performance we saw the other day. He is just getting shut down.
But Jay, unlike last time, it's also not like a 4-protect 1-trap death. They have Storm and Queen of Pain, so he's not the one carry who has to do everything this game. Both those two heroes have a lot of carry potential in their own right. Both of these often run as carries, or at least like your 2-position heroes. So for Jay, if he can fight a lot early, why not go for it? He may even pick up something like a Vit Booster or a Yasha. This may not even be a Radiance game.
Jay is going to tank a missile initially. He's got the Blade Mail at the ready if he wants to use it. Takes 2 sets of homie missiles. Now going to use an Urn Charge to keep himself in fighting condition. The Tinker is trying to zone him out of lane. Elsewhere on the map, GoDz on the move. It's CSW making their smoke rotation. They see that Spectre top, and in the same moment, mid, the real action breaks out. They go in with the Storm, balling onto 1. Now Jay chasing out Chains. He's going to hunt this Tinker down. Oh, maybe not. Dodging an arrow. Now getting lassoed. Oh, Jay. Oh, no. No Urn Charges. He'll die. As soon as I said, like, I like his item adjustment, 2 deaths for Jay. Just quick as that. The Jinx is strong.
And Tinker is just doing everything he needs to do. This is exactly where you want your Tinker to be, 13 minutes in. Yeah, he hasn't been involved in that much of the action, but he's farming well. He's going to have, like, a 15-minute Blink Dagger. He's just getting amazing experience out of the map. This is pretty much Tinker on track to be that kind of late-game beast, or at least to be able to stall towards that late game so you can at least fight your opponents head-on. And late game wise, like Tinker, Batrider, these are good late game heroes. Even if you haven't got that late game physical damage carry and your opponents have a Spectre, Tinker is just, he shines in the late game scenario.
Oh yeah, and with the Bat, he's got that, it's not quite the Hawk level of mobility, but he's got that hero that can set up ganks from around the map and who also just gives him vision control. As we all know, vision extra important for the Tinker. CSW are going to prep in the mid lane. The BOTs have been online, and now the Blink Dagger's about to come out. As Cuckoo's also on the prowl. He's going to hunt through this Radiant Woods. He has the level 1 ulti. Could set up here. If they had the Haunt, this would be a great time to go, but it's 40 seconds before it cools down. Nope, he's just going to go for Tootie, and it looks like he'll get him. With the Shadow Strike now, he can blink to the south if he wants, and just walk away. In the meantime, Musica goes in mid, brings down the Shaker. They ran him down with the Malefice. And now the pressure mounts. The Glyph is popped. CSW maybe going to stick around here as the Tinker Blink is out, but this is going to give time for Haunt to cool down. Spectre's got it in 13, and they are not going to give up this tower without a fight. Balling in as Jesse Vash pulls out GoDz. There's the swap. Arrow coming through, but Musica also getting silenced. Everybody dropping low and being forced off the fight. The black hole, a complete airball from GoDz. Nice ball out there by Jesse Vash to keep him alive. And they got to run because now Jay has Haunt. And he could easily walk in mid and just clean everybody up.
Yeah, this is time to get out. Cut your losses if you're CSW. Jay's still farming the top lane. There's a lot of issues to address right now. And CSW have to be worried not just about the Spectre, but the Queen of Pain and the Storm Spirit. Just one death between the Queen of Pain and the Storm. These two have done really well as far as pressuring lanes and getting kills and just controlling the tempo of this game. It's been the two carries, both Jay as well as Musica, the Moran and the Spectre, with a lot of the deaths in this game, but Spectre at least getting farm along the way. Musica, very little in terms of items.
This is the risk with the Morana as a pick. We saw how well it can go in our last match, but it can also be a disaster. Cuckoo uses his blink to scream the wave at the exact moment when CSW are making their move top lane, and he blinks right into the waiting arms, or wings of the Batrider, I suppose I should say. They'll take him down, and now they prep for the push. They want to get an aggressive ward down right as Mineski smoke. They back off and swing towards mid, but nothing here for them to gank, it looks like, as everybody's currently pushing top for CSW. Except for your Tinker. Maybe they jump him. Uh-oh, Tinker. Gotta be careful. Yep. He blinks forward into a concussive shot. Hero! And goodbye. And there, the Haunt was used. Not going to go top lane, though.
TP mid, 3-4-3 has to be careful, because there's 3 heroes here. Next Fissure, they can go back in.
You cannot just send one hero to a tower against this lineup.
Yeah. They thought they could... It was like a gut reaction, like, oh, Tinker's getting ganked, let's save... Oh, he died too fast. Oh, now I'm mid lane, now I'm mid lane alone. Went from Tinker being alone to Venge being alone. The 1-by-1, they all fall down, and CSW give up a few unnecessary kills there. Mineski with just a slight gold lead at the time being, but with a Spectre on their side, that's something they'll be just pretty pleased with in general.
I feel like Jay is maybe reevaluating the drums. He got his Bracer robe, but it seems he may not actually complete the drums. Looks like he instead wants to finally farm towards the Relic, which I like. I feel like the game is slowing down a bit. It seems Jay is feeling like this is going to go a little longer. They want to have an insurance policy. And even a late Radiance on Spectre is still a Radiance on Spectre. It's a very good item, especially when you have these other cores.
And you're against 5 squishies. There's not a single like strength hero on this Radiant side. There's no tanky like Bristleback Axe type hero.
They don't even have their mech.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 18 minutes in.
And that's where
good Enigma performance. You have this before 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you could get like a 25-minute Radiance and it's still going to be a good item. Because along the way to that 25-minute Radiance, you're actually contributing a lot. Yeah, Jay's been dying, but he's been helping set up the Queen of Pain as well as the Storm Spirit for success. And that's where I feel like a late Radiance is still a good Radiance this game. So
seems like everybody wants to back off and farm. And if you're Mineski, I think if you're CSW, you do have some late game of your own. The Batrider, Tinker. Still, it just feels like they haven't really accomplished too many of their objectives. They never took the safe lane tower with the Enigma Venge. We've seen most teams running that duo always get that tower like in the first 6 to 8 minutes. They haven't threatened for Roshan. It's mainly just come down to the Batrider getting a decent start on the off lane as well as this Tinker having a good time.
Yep. Well, all right now, Tinker gonna look to keep things pushed out. He has picked up a point booster. And things developing pretty damn well for Mineski here. There's not really been enough pressure coming from CSW. Like it feels like CSW's only option is just to play around Tinker and go for this really late game play where they got a Tinker, and then a bad Enigma, like 2 good late game team fighters, but not good late game carry. Jesse Vash
taking the bullet! Oh my god!
Oh, that was some serious camaraderie there.
That was a Secret Service move, taking bullets for the president.
Yep.
Oh man.
Okay.
That was cool.
Oh, swap back. They're not done here. They're going to catch out RR. 3-4-3, hoping for some
backup
here.
Mystic Flare. He may just chuck it down and hope for the best, and it's not going to happen.
Best is not very good.
Spectre haunting, and then just running away. They commit a lot. Like, they could have just sacked the heroes, but they use Queen of Pain ult and Haunt on top of that. And that puts them in a really compromised position for the next 2 minutes. Yep. In good news, though, Jay almost has Relic. CSW now about to make it an even game, but I still don't think they'll be very comfortable with an even game.
Yeah. The core Mirana is not looking like really a core hero at this point of view. Musica's got a drums of his own on that topic, but if at least one other hero was farming really well outside of the Tinker, it'd be a different story. Like, if you had a farmed Enigma or a farmed Mirana, you'd be like, okay, CSW can go late game and do pretty well, but they've got just the Tinker. Everyone else is sitting down below that 6k net worth mark, and Mineski with the number 2, 3, 4 as far as net worth heroes go.
Yeah, it may come down to CSW baiting him. Perhaps the plan will be, if he gets to that super fat status, then you try to convince Mineski they should go on him. Set up a little trap with a defensive swap, a Batrider counter lasso, maybe even a black hole, and punish the fact that he's the focal point. But for now, we're not really seeing that. They're just split pushing for the time being. Tootie floating around towards the top side of the map. Mineski on the smoke. Bimbo about to complete his... Well, actually just got the relic, and now can farm towards the Radiance recipe itself. Things will slow down a bit here after that little flourish of action in the top side of the map.
Yeah, CSW is looking to keep heroes near wherever the Tinker goes. He's got Bloodstone and 10 gold, and looks like that's going to be, well, the name of the game as far as CSW concerned.
They're not really taking towers, Mineski, after the laning stage. They only got the one tower bottom. That is a nice boon for CSW there. They've got the tier 1 mid also claimed, and I think more importantly, have the counter push to really prevent any easy objectives from being taken by Mineski. They're going to have to earn them the old-fashioned way with a bunch of hero kills.
Yep. So Mineski, yeah, hero kills have got to happen at some point, and that's where you've got an Orchid on your Storm. Queen of Pain has the Yules to at least somewhat initiate onto a Tinker, stop his blink out. Spectre has the Haunt, and with the Radiance, that's going to be where they can really start to get hunting, but seems maybe even the supports are going to need some actual items, and that's where like an Earthshaker blink may be something they need coming into play as far as this game's concerned. Moonlight Shadow being used here. Seems to want to go into their own jungle with this. Dire Sentry Wards are going to scout out this movement.
Cuckoo does have a Yule Scepter as well as a Haster, and the arrow actually misses. Now he's going to Yules, then just look to blink away. And he will end up successfully retreating, but Oa not so lucky. Will be trapped, caught out, and finished on the back foot. Ends up going down.
Feels like CSW are just the only ones really finding kills and objectives lately. I guess Mineski have really just been playing things slow until they get the Radiance, but this Radiance has been it's been slowed down a lot.
They're not taking some harassment here. They're going to bring in their Spectre. That Yules for the Quap, making a difference again, but not enough. Ends up going down. Spectre actually did not jump into this one. Jay very wisely cutting the cord there, bottom. A little more disciplined from the last time he played the Spectre.
CSW just outplaying Mineski for the last 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, this feels like 90% outplay right now. After getting outplayed really hard in the landing stage. The Enigma getting nothing, the D wards failing, the repeated effective rotations, the Storm solo getting that solo kill earlier. But things have started to change and shift, and now 2D's going to get a gem. They want to continue to just press the advantage, D-ward Mineski a bit more, and press forward towards some map control. That graph spikes up. It's been about a 5k gold swing over the past 10-15 minutes. Still a game that Mineski can bounce back, but they got to start finding better clean initiations and not give up these free kills.
Yeah, this gem pickup especially crucial here for CSW as far as objectives go, keeping the Tinker safe, making sure you know where your opponents are. Already de-warded their jungle. And that's one of only 2 wards that were on the map here, so Mineski's vision very limited, and also just going to make Mineski a lot more afraid to go for a Roshan when they don't have vision around the Roche pit. Neither team really with the best Roche lineup. Radiant slightly better with the Venge and the Enigma, but these are not really big right-click carry heroes.
It's also just both teams are very good at punishing a Roche attempt. You've got excellent AoE from CSW, the Batrider to find the openings, and if you walk into the pit against a Shaker, Spectre, Storm, Quap, there are 3 heroes that can just jump in and take the Aegis. You've got Fissure to block heroes out of position. It feels like that pit is a death trap unless you have a clear sense of where the opposition are going to be located. Yeah. Mineski now will take another smoke. I think this is their last for a while. They've got 1 more on RR. Then none for 9.5 minutes available for purchase. Really want to get something done with this, but CSW are
Chains is doing something
playing
really
defense.
cool. He's doing like TP cancels all over the map. He's just done 4 TP cancels in a row. He's doing this on purpose because he sees everyone missing and he knows some kind of a sneaky gank's coming his way. Finally, he doesn't cancel TP, and is it going to be the death of him? Uh-oh.
Well, wrong lane to go onto. It looks like Chain's going to get pulled. He has the Bloodstone Suicide, though. Quap bolt over the top. He doesn't pop it in time. Ends up going down. That's a very important kill. Now the Queen of Pain Yule's used to prevent the Batrider chase. He has his blink at the ready. Doesn't want to go just yet. Looks like he wound up backing off, but right at the last moment catches out Jay, who has Blade Mail. Goes Honda Tootie, gets the kill before dropping here, but will ultimately fall anyway. Quap now lurching in. The gem hitting the deck. Everybody forced back. Now Marana in the river. Can they chase her down? Musica has a fissure in 5, but it's too late. They're going to be forced back. Tinker will now respawn, so Tinker and Spectre both dying for their respective teams, as well as the Batrider and Skywrath. Give Mineski the slight win there, and the graph reflecting it. It will dip their way.
Yep. Ever so slightly. Good fight for them. Chains was so patient with that TP. He did a fake TP top, did a fake TP mid, did 2 fake TPs bottom, and he's like, okay, they didn't take the bait on any of those. Mid looks like the safest and the lane we need to defend most, and that's exactly where Mineski were waiting. So Mineski, their patience pays off there, and unfortunately for Chains, it was good play before he got caught out, but does end up getting caught out.
They'll take the kill on the Tinker. Still, he is the leader in net worth. CSW, as far as their map control goes, they hold on to that gem, very importantly, back on 2D's inventory. If that's a 2 for 2 and Mineski manages to steal the gem, then that's a massive swing of momentum. But keeping the gem makes that an even trade.
Yeah. So, CSW, not really the best lineup to take objectives right now. They can't really push the T2 towers, aren't really designed to take Roshan, so they're going to look to keep on just farming their side of the map, get their next couple of items up, the BKB on your Enigma being one of the big ones, the Tinker, whatever he wants to go for, and...
Alright, last smoke for 7 minutes.
Yeah,
What are they going to get done with this?
Can they find the Tinker again? That is going to be the big question. They're not really showing enough heroes. As soon as 5 heroes go missing on the map, and that's where Tinker's not going to TP to any lane where he doesn't have backup, generally speaking. Yeah, he's doing cancel TPs towards the top lane. We'll see Chains probably continue to do this until a hero shows on the map. I think it's very unlikely he TPs to a lane and actually tries to farm with the entire Mineski squad missing.
Well, maybe they go on somebody else. GoDz is off towards the Radiant jungle, and they are almost in position to jump him here. They're going to haunt in to start the fight. GoDz has the black hole, not going to get it off. Well, you might not show your Tinker, but we'll take the leftovers. That's going to be 3 heroes likely dropping here. Musica trying to leap away. They get off the last one. Jesse Vash J is dropping quickly, though. The tower going to end up bringing him down in the end as Enigma will buy back. Tinker rejoining the fight and getting some big stuff done here. Black hole is available. Silence goes on to GoDz. That's going to be it, though. Spectre and Quap down. Storm out of mana. Fight's over, folks. A 3 for 3 with a buyback for CSW.
It still feels like that's good for CSW though. They keep killing the Spectre. That's really the thing here. Like the last fight was like a 200 gold swing in Mineski's favor. This one like a 900 gold swing, but where the gold is lost is the Enigma. As far as CSW concerned, and for Mineski, they're losing gold on the Spectre, who is not really progressing item-wise. So I still feel like these fights aren't too bad for the Australian squad.
Storm is the big winner for Mineski. Now he's 7-1-4. Jesse Vash is closing on a Bloodstone. And ultimately, when it goes late, I think Storm is probably the more important hero for shutting down the Tinker, who is the entire CSW late game as far as damage goes.
Interesting pickup from your Tinker, too. Now going to go straight into a BKB.
Oh, that's really early.
Super defensive. Bloodstone BKB. 2 items to tank up, keep yourself alive. Has 1850 HP. He wants to be out of teamfight now, and I think this is a good call, because Mineski, with this Radiance timing, with Queen of Pain Storm, they keep going for these smoke ganks and keep trying to take 5v5 fights, and that's where Tinker can actually initiate or at least be the frontliner, assuming he gets off the BKB, which, without an Earthshaker blink, is very likely.
It blocks almost all of Mineski's damage. The Dispersion, the Radiance Burn, the Queen of Pain Scream, not the ultimate once she completes this Ags, which is coming soon. It'll be hitting quite hard. A lot of bonus pure damage there, but you block the Mystic Flare, you block the bonus amp from the Silence, as well as all of Storm's damage, essentially. I would say you block like 80-90% of Mineski's damage with BKB. It is really good. That said, getting it early means that if this game doesn't really go in CSW's favor the next 10-15 minutes, Now you're down to a 5-second BKB, and all that damage will start to pack a punch.
I still feel like CSW are gearing up for that super late game, and it's like, if we're going for that 50-minute stage, we can't afford to have Tinker feeding. So it's like, this will get him that 6-slotted Tinker by staying alive. So it's kind of like a, yeah, you want to have a long BKB in the late game, but to get to the 50-minute stage, you can't keep on dying.
Haunt does get used here, just scouting out what CSW are up to. It'll bring Musica down quite low.
Yeah, CSW have no damage output. None of their heroes particularly good at damage output, and that's where the only time they're going to get that damage output is like late game with a Tinker, Dagon 5, Hex.
Are you really going for this, man? Oh no, he gets caught. The Yule's waiting for him. That's going to remove the haste rune.
Arrow hits Cuckoo too. Nice play from Musica. Going to snipe down the Queen of Pain, and now they get to work on the tier 2 tower.
Very odd way to find a kill. Running with the hasted bat, get caught on the way out by Yule's, and then hit your arrow anyway. Well, it works. That's all that matters. The body hits the deck. CSW now looking at a tower kill. Pop ult was used, Spectre ult was used. That means 2 big ultis on the sidelines for the potential high ground push or even next objective take from CSW. Mineski just not using their ultis well over the past 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and it is costing them.
So get the tier 2 mid. Looks like they'll swing through, farm a bit of the enemy jungle, and make their way towards that top lane. With most of their ultimates up on the CSW squad, just the Mirana Moonlight Shadow missing. But the big one is always going to be that Batrider Lasso, which is available and ready to help secure this top tier 2
Almost
tower.
a BKB bat. There is no answer for a BKB bat. No, there's no swap. There's no roar. They got nothing.
Yep.
Once he gets this BKB, he can just jump anybody he pleases.
Like top lane's going to be where they're going to try and make that setup happen. There's decent vision here. The map control heavily favoring CSW. Since picking up this gem, they've done a good job keeping Mineski down as far as vision goes and keeping their own vision up. Very active. It feels like almost Mineski need a gem of their own on someone like a Skyrath just to...
They almost got it earlier mid. That died, it hit the deck. Quap could have walked in for it, but was a little low and chose not to take that risk.
So there's your tier 2 tower top, just the one at bottom remaining, and CSW seem to be the ones winning kind of fight after fight to some extent. They pulled ahead by about 8,000 net worth now. Mineski's late game is still very impressive. They get the Bloodstone on the Storm, the Spectre getting closer and closer to the Heart of Tarask, but...
They definitely have the better late game damage and overall carry potential, but where CSW just excel is map control and pick off.
Yeah, their team fights.
Bat with gem and having
beastly.
a Tinker. And these aggressive wards now planted down, as you mentioned.
Bat and Tinker late game is just insane. And then Enigma too, like a BKB black hole. There's no
way to
counter.
cancel that.
Yeah, you've got a deceptively good late game lineup without having a late game carry. I mean, I think it's kind of not really.
The counter for the black hole is more like a Spectre buyback than anything else. You blow everything to kill him once. If he can buy back, can just win the game. But he's not farmed enough to be looking at buybacks.
Or maybe a little lacking in the damage up, and that's where Tinker going to start building towards that Dagon. It's up the first level of it and get into work.
All right. I like this. I feel like we haven't really seen Tinkers even get to the point where they have a Dagon in a long time. Every Tinker pick lately is either they eat the one EG game where they just won like super early, or all the other games at SCA where he's just feeding.
Yeah. You can tell Chains is just so experienced in this Tinker with all these cancels he's doing.
Haunt comes out, but Jay gets lassoed. I don't even know if he'll have an image to reality to when this wears off. The Mystic Flare, though, doing insane damage. Jay bringing everyone low with this Blade Mail. They'll finally kill up the Spectre, but was it worth it? Not sure. 2 for 2. Echo Slam coming through. Can Chains clean up? So far, a 4-0 takedown on CSW. Chains the last man standing. He will make it out. The rocket not even going to hit Jesse Vesh on the way out.
Very close.
So big by Bimbo there that he pops his Blade Mail before they can lock him down. He just destroyed 3 of these heroes.
That Dispersion.
Dispersion Blade Mail. Yuck.
Ooh, that's huge. The Batrider not having a BKB for that fight really hurts him.
I thought he was going to have it by then, but yeah, he's 600 gold short.
They're very close having the BKB on Mirana as well, so I feel like they should be waiting for these 2 items before they try and take those kind of team fights, but still, every fight, Spectre's dying. Like, we have not seen Spectre's items really grow beyond this Radiance Vitality booster. I've seen Jay just consistently have this, like, 2 to 3k gold. It's gotten up as high as, like, 3k before that fight, but hasn't really got to that point where it can just pick up the Heart of Tarask.
You know, GoDz, the other really big thing for Mineski, though, is they got the gem.
Yep.
RR has the gem. We've been talking about the ward game of CSW. They don't have quite as good of a gem carrier as the Bat, but Storm is pretty good. You give him the gem, he can scout with the remnants, get some high ground vision, some flying vision, and they may want to pass this one off to him.
And CSW, I feel like, would be looking to pick up a new gem very soon. Problem is, Batrad doesn't really want to buy it. He's close to a BKB, so maybe it falls upon someone like one of the two supports to do so. Your Enigma has BKB mech, but Enigma also probably thinking, like, I kind of want a Blink Dagger right now, as this game's going later and later.
Jay could buy his Reaver if he sells this Robe of the Magi, but he wants to just pick up an Aegis.
Not a good Roche lineup, which is why they're going to sneak in and try catch CSW by surprise by this move.
Very slow Roche, though.
Yeah.
Radiant Vision. Nobody's on the map. Now, to be fair, Mineski has done this like 6 times this game, and every time it's been a 5-hero gank train. This
is not something you... I mean, it's at some point, Roshan is likely to go down, so CSW could theoretically check it, but I think that if you're CSW, you say, look, if they're going to go for Roshan at some point, we give it to them and just stall out. They're not going to look to take a fight while Mineski have Aegis. They're always going to go for the split push, force Mineski back by split pushing, and try and delay out the Aegis to expire. It's just an Aegis. There's no cheese for another couple of Roches.
Yeah, they do have the best Aegis carrier in Dota on that Storm.
It may be the case. He's still going to find a chance to use it, which is not going to be the easiest thing to do with CSW, like the way they're playing this game right now.
Yeah, I think Mineski are fine just to farm, though. There's really no pressure to, like, go get kills with this Aegis.
Yeah. It seems both.
If this means CSW wants to AFK farm, then Mineski will say, we'll take our chances with that.
There's kind of a limit to what Tinker can do. That's the one thing with this going late game. Yeah, Tinker's one of the better late game heroes, and you've got 2 amazing late game kind of team fighters in Enigma and Bat, but Mineski have 3 late game carries, or at least 2 good late game carries in Storm and Spectre, and Queen of Pain, not too bad herself.
Yeah, both teams are likely to have amazing buyback carries as well. The Spectre, the Storm, the Tinker. Of course, you have the Bloodstone on the Tinker and the Storm, so they'll both respawn quickly. There will be extra lives to maybe make up for the having only 1 carry, or even to take advantage of having multiple. Mineski are going to congregate bottom. 4 heroes grouped up. Cuckoo, the one that's not, he's a little bit off on an island now, top lane. Far away from his team. Though, to be fair, CSW not in position to really do anything about that. Yeah, there's no way that Chain's TP's... That would be like the dumbest TP in the history of Tinker play if he goes there. Wants to see where the Storm is, and then he'll make his move.
Does open up that top lane to actually TP into, which he hasn't had too many chances to do. So there we go. Jay finishes an item which has been a long time coming. The Heart of Tarrasque is there.
Still has a ways to go. This is not a very big Spectre.
Absolutely. Storm.
Uh-oh, Chains. It's so hard as a Tinker. Can't get off the Bloodstone deny. It's just rough, and Jay's not done. Now that the Heart's complete, he goes in with the Blade Mail. Jay, this is a very bold play. They're going to lasso him. GoDz has a hole. Not opting to use it just yet. Jesse Vash going to ball himself forward. He has that Aegis. Well, Jay just feeds away a freebie. That was some questionable decision-making.
Yeah, it's not really been his game. They're just dealing with him well, and the Tinker has a pretty fast respawn. It's been kind of, that to me has been the first big slip-up for the Tinker. He started twice before then, but they've been more kind of team-fight-oriented deaths. That one there was when he was kind of alone, split-pushing a lane where so far his decision-making of when and where to go has been on point, and he hasn't been caught up by the Storm. But there's always going to be a first, and
the one concern is as the game gets later, it's easier for Storm to catch him because he has a longer overall reach, more killing potential.
More and more Bloodstone charges compared to Chains, who's down to 6, who much harder for Chains to get Bloodstone charges this game.
And once you get that Hex, like, the BKB doesn't really help you because he's just going to ball, Hex you on his way in. Unless you have a ward that sees him zipping, you're almost certainly going to get jumped.
Yeah. Like
that's where I think they really have to, like, find ways to bait Chains and punish Mineski when they jump him.
Yeah. They're always just camping for this team.
Moonlight Shadow could be good for that, the defensive swap. Maybe a counter blink BKB Black Hole, but... Well, it is only the 1 death still. Mineski hanging on to their Aegis, but... I mean, Bimbo, that should have been the first fight where he gets a kill and doesn't die, but ends up giving up one anyway. 4 and 7 on the Spectre. Still their most farmed hero. But it could be a lot more.
Yeah, it could be a lot better. It's definitely the big thing here. So both teams on opposite sides of the map. It looks like CSW can keep pressuring the top lane. Mineski a long ways away from this bottom tier 2 tower and probably going to have to address this top lane pressure coming their way fairly soon.
Oh, Jay's going to go back to farming. The creeps can't really fight back or be cute.
Yeah.
He knows if he hits them, they'll just die.
So 1 minute left on the Aegis, and Mineski at best going to get something like a tier 2 tower at bottom. High ground is just an impossibility at this stage when you haven't got quite the late game items you need and you're against a Tinker who's going to have a buyback.
Yeah, neither team is very good at actually killing buildings.
Tier 2 tower may even be a struggle to get. Change is already there, laying down March.
Yeah, it could be. This would be the time to go for it while you've got that 45 seconds on the Aegis or so, but they're about to run out. Cuckoo will show himself in the bottom lane. He blinks and then screams. I wonder if he is back up.
Yeah, Tinker was like, I'm going to cancel this TP to your tier 2 tower. This is probably not a good idea. It's one of those things where it's really hard for Spectre to time that Haunt to cancel something like a Blink Dagger, because ideally you want to try and cancel the Blink Dagger as Chains is kind of TPing in. So he TPs in and his Blink's not available. But if he keeps canceling it, you don't know if it's a time to Haunt or not.
Even that... Oh, can they start with an arrow? That would be the ideal way to get this going. But Haunt comes out. That's going to prevent the initiation. In fact, they go into Tootie, force out his BKB. Very nice Haunt by Jay. Without that Haunt, Tootie was like 3 seconds from a lasso into an arrow and a potential kill to start the fight. Kind of like that support Zeus now. Haunt is a little bit longer of a cooldown. Maybe CSW want to make a move while this is 2 minutes away from being available.
It definitely feels like an ultimate they should be using very liberally. They shouldn't be holding on to it like for after a teamfight begins. Use it as that scouting initiation tool, kind of like that Zeus ulti as you just mentioned, because that's going to maybe preemptively cancel a Blink Dagger and a Tinker or a Bat and allow you to jump them. Even if it's just there, force out a BKB. After that BKB is on cooldown, they can't fight. The BKB getting down to 5 seconds or whatever may be less important in this game, but much more about the BKB being on cooldown.
Here comes the lasso. Oh, man.
Very close.
If he even like just stands around rather than backing after that wave. Not even if he pushes forward, he's dead. But Mineski showing some good map awareness here. You can see the dire vision right now. Oh well, maybe not. Did I jinx him? Yep, I jinxed him.
He's going to get caught out.
Fisher does catch on 3, but Cuckoo's down. And it might even be more. Oh, Jesse Vash able to ball away. Man. I feel so bad for the Jinx. It's been...
LD, go easy on these poor players. You just...
I don't even know who I want my Arcanas from this game. You know, I'm jinxing both teams.
Which of the fan straights do you want to upset more?
I let the chat behavior decide that. I'm just letting both sides of the fence know that if they misbehave, they'll be punished with some caster curse. Well, Jay's not dying. He's starting to accelerate his farm. Finally going to make his next purchase after the heart fairly soon. Can pick up the Yasha if he wants. Could maybe build towards that Butterfly or Manta. But as I say that, CSW are hunting him, and perhaps he just dies here again. He's very close to getting caught.
That was kind of the protection buffer right now. He's got the gem. They don't actually see him. He saw the bat before the bat actually came in.
He's going to haunt. And now they zip. They find Chains to start off the fight. He's going to BKB and run away. Jay will be the one who goes down. Here it looks like low. Yep. Almost dead. Will fall. That Tinker BKB saving his life. It pays off big time for Chains.
I think Mineski, the big thing is they want to be fast-forwarding 5-10 minutes to where they have double Hex. They have Spectre's next item. They don't want to keep on fighting right now. It feels like they're just that one item short on a couple of heroes. Having Queen of Pain and Storm with a Hex and Spectre, probably a Manta style, a Diffusal, whatever it may be as your next item.
He should just go something... Okay, he's buying Diffusal. Yeah. He's actually got it complete.
Okay.
I was just going to say, like, he just needs to start buying items. Like, even if they're cheap items, like, get your Yasha, get your Diffusal.
Yeah,
don't try to farm an Eagle Song, because the way this game is going, it's quite likely you die multiple times before getting it.
And this is not a game where you're going to need buyback, because there's no real threat. Like, if you die in a fight, it's not like CSW you're going to suddenly push down your racks here. You want to have as many items as possible to win you a team fight, unless you're using the buyback to, like, buyback Haunt in and have 2 lives in a fight. But generally speaking, I think the Haunt is best used at the start of a fight and not after dying.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, just to prevent the bat initiate.
Yeah, we've seen
that
work pretty well.
It almost worked bottom. If he had done it like 2 seconds earlier, he would have lived probably. But we saw it work the other fight. So, like you said, I think just continue to use it liberally. He does complete his Diffusal Blade. This will be a nice item to catch out that Tinker potentially. Also, if you ever take an E-Blade, can just throw the Diffusal out. So, well, we'll see. For now, Mineski hanging back. You know, the one hero that
Finally a farming item from Miranda, by the way.
I was just gonna say, the one hero who's been pretty quiet has been Musico. We had the
He's had some big arrows.
The one arrow mid. The Moonlight Shadow might be his biggest tool, but it's tough now that Storm is walking around with the gem.
As a safe lane farmer and a player who normally plays these like snowball heroes, like we've seen the Core Leshrac in this event, he plays a lot of Storm and Quap. This has just not been a hero Musica's being able to do much with us. And he's been forced to go pure defensive. Like he had a bad lane stage, had to get treads, drums, and then went into a BKB.
Yeah.
His Yasha came after the BKB even, I believe, and it's been a unfortunate game for Miranda. Miranda's just like, let's just keep dragging this so I can at least get some late game items.
Do they really want to go late?
I think they can.
It's tough.
It's really going to come down to execution late game. I don't think either team has a clear better late game draft. If anything, CSW have the much more reliable late game draft in the sense they've got the pick-off potential of a Batrider and the team fight of the Enigma. Without any way of cancelling a BKB Black Hole, if you go super late game, 60 minutes in and there's like a refresher even on your Enigma, that's a dead Spectre or Queen of Pain or someone dead every time there's a Black Hole used. All he has to do is catch one big carry in that Black Hole to do significant damage in a late game scenario. And he can do so if he gets the Midnight Pulse down with a Black Hole. That's a dead Spectre, even if you have 3k HP on your Spectre.
Well, for now, GoDz is 2,500 gold banked up here. Still a ways off of that refresher if he wants to rush into it. Could just be hanging on to his gold, seeing what the options will be here. Their way into the Mineski jungle. They are walking in totally dark, just seeing one hero mid right now, but they are a squad of 4. Tinker always available to be the +1. They may even try to jump mid. Batrider hanging out. Mineski smoking now. They were spotted, I think, by this ward.
Not convinced by these Roche smokes. The Aegis is nice, but CSW just always generally outlasts the Aegises.
This time CSW are ready to fight this, though.
Here we go.
This could be big. Bat's going to move in first
arrow
and
too.
foremost. Buyback status, Spectre is 60 gold short. The Roche is not dropping that quickly. Tootie will lead the way, but Jesse Vash gets him first off the bat. Big initiation from the Storm. Quap, however, will get caught out. GoDz Black Hole got canceled almost instantly. He's not able to do much. Now the Haunt buyback comes out from Spectre. He got some gold from that first kill. It allows him to buy back where he otherwise couldn't, and now Musica will be next. 3, make it 4, down a triple for Jesse Vash. This ward, as well as the quick fingers of Jesse Vash, just saved Mineski and throw them 2,200 gold forward, a gem forward, and an Aegis to boot.
Execution. It's the name of the game. GoDz not going in with the BKB when he used the Black Hole. He BKB'd after the Black Hole. A bit of a misplay there, and even just the bat. Yeah.
Bat should have just BKB when he's like, go for here. There's no reason to hold it.
Just BKB as early as possible. That's really would have been a very different fight if those BKBs had been used, but
now it gets scary. Jesse Vash has Hex. Jay has his potentially his next item. Oh, actually, no, he bought back, so he's not going to have anything.
He's still on the buyback gold penalty, unfortunately for him. But
you know, your Skywrath Mage GoDz, he's building his soul booster now. We're going to see the Bloodstone Skywrath soon.
He's getting there, you know. It's still like 4 heroes on the Radiant side, much more farm. So like the Mineski team have 2 true supports, whereas Enigma's actually like got some good late game items, but
yeah, still has a bit of a gold lead here, bottom lane. Jesse Vash jumping in, tries to anticipate chains, but he's actually the one who's going to get caught out. The Tinker Hex, quicker on the draw.
Think he scouted the Hex. Maybe he hadn't clicked chains or something, but
he tried to time it right as the TP completed and just insta-hex him, but didn't have a target to cast it on until it was too late.
That was some Wild Wild West action going there. Who's going to get the Hex off first?
Well, tough to hex someone who's not actually showing themselves. Uh-oh, chains. Gotta find another kill top lane. Mineski just getting on the feed train here.
This is where
Tinker
freebies can just punish you over and over again if you're not careful. And that's Tinker, one of the best late game carries in the game, even though he's not a right clicker. He just does so much, and if he builds up Bloodstone charges, he can get close to that point where he can have 3 lives with a fast respawn from the Bloodstone and then a buyback on top of that. So you gotta be very careful against this late game Tinker. Jay's going to have a buyback on cooldown, so if they can wait the Aegis out for a bit longer, and I really feel like Tinker is going to have no issues dealing with the Spectre directly. It's going to come much more when he gets jumped by a lot of heroes and gets outnumbered, which is where the Spectre can actually give vision and the scouting potential. But CSW can easily protect a Tinker using the Enigma and the Batrider. You don't want to go engaging into the lasso black hole.
He's just so far ahead. He's 10k up right now. If he were even in net worth, I think he'd have some issues. But when you're that far ahead, you've got your BKB. Storm can't really kill you. Even if you die, you're going to have a quick respawn. The Spectre is in no position to fight you. It's just it's a numbers game that he's coming out on top of. Now they're going to make their way bottom. 5 heroes. A bit of a pilgrimage here for CSW as they'll look to potentially take a tier 2 tower. It's Mineski still trying to find a tier 1 top. Tinker TPing in, but Jay's like, you're not coming for this. And this time he's not. Mercy was had this day by Chains.
Bench hiding out in the trees here. Looks like they're going to try to use GoDz as bait, but this is fairly obvious bait, I feel.
That said, Mineski have taken some pretty questionable fights this game, so don't put it past them to go there anyway. I like the way CSW are thinking.
This game's still very much in the balance between the two teams. It may be like a 10k gold lead for CSW, but Mineski with plenty of options as far as winning in the late game. And CSW, same thing. It's going to come down to these team fights and how these big spells are used, especially the Radiant supports and initiators have so much utility coming out of a black hole, a swap, and a lasso. All these big ultis that go through BKB. For an Earthshaker or a Skyreth, you're much more limited as far as what you can do because of CSW series having BKBs. You just have to wait it out and hope you're still alive when their BKBs wear off, because that's all there really is to it for some of these heroes. Or that Earthshaker can maybe get an amazing timing jump with an Echo Slam, but that comes down much more to like the circumstance presenting itself rather than like finding the initiation there.
Mineski, dude, pick up some small items here. Your Arcane Boots for Earthshaker, your Lincoln Sphere for Queen of Pain, and now Spectre going to go into a BKB. This is... Okay. There is a lot of magic damage on CSW. They're pretty lacking in right-click, but they still have the Black Hole. They've got that Midnight Pulse as well to go through it.
Good against Tinker, I think. It's like Tinker's just going to be like solo-killing Spectre and owning Spectre every fight without this BKB.
I think the other big item for Jay is maybe even like an Abyssal Blade here. Just something that will allow him to lock that Tinker down in the fights.
I like the idea of an Abyssal Blade.
It's not really a classic Spectre item. Does not go well with your illusions at all, but if he just goes into a Butterfly, how much is that really going to do for him?
The attack speed is like... You get more damage from an Abyssal than a Butterfly, so... Your illusions may be less so, but... Yeah.
Manta's okay, but I mean, Tinker's got rockets to help bring those down. I don't know. I feel like if you wanted that standard Spectre build, you would have needed a better game and just get it quicker.
It seems like the item with the highest impact potential of the options for Spectre. The other one is even a Refresher potentially being okay.
I think he could replace the Diffusal Blade as well. I don't really feel like it's done anything from this game. Everyone's got BKBs anyway, practically on the Radiant side.
Well, this game going to drag on. We're going to see buybacks getting farmed out by some of these heroes with them on cooldown for the time being. The Spectre, kind of especially, he's on cooldown for another minute. And things are going to develop somewhat slowly here in the late game. 53 minutes in, 28 kills apiece, and this game looks like it's not any kind of closer to finishing than it was 20 minutes ago. A lot of T2 towers still up on the map.
Oh, Enigma's finally clawing his way towards that potential refresher. Up to 5,000 gold.
Picks up the purse.
Should just have the mana for the combo.
Yeah. Even
with the... Well, he's got the Soul Ring.
And even not having 2 black holes in a row, like if you black hole once for a kill and then just back off, you can go to the fountain to regen and TP back in after refreshing. So it doesn't have to be like directly... Often your first black hole, if it doesn't get a kill, then it probably wasn't a very good black hole. You want to kill like one of the cores. And then be worried about like the buyback from that core. That's where buyback is essential, because someone like Jay is just going to die inside that black hole. The black hole cannot be dealt with.
I like how this Queen of Pain has turned into just a support for Jay. Walks around throwing the Lincoln Sphere on him all game.
This is where the Queen of Pain has really been a bit of a weak pick for Mineski, with not really dying a lot this game, 9 deaths, and just the itemization has really fallen off and not really progressed till late game. No Hex, forced to go this defensive way, and the Lincoln's is good against the battle ways, but
Well, we've seen this movie before. Just run right down mid and hope that Mineski are just waiting there to get caught out. Spectre Lincoln's about to wear off, but they did have to use a Force Staff to break it. Now the Black Hole on Jay. Does he have a buyback available? He will. They catch out RR as well. Jay gonna go down once. He uses his Haunt, and GoDz will die. He refreshed his Black Hole, has no buyback. In the meantime, the Storm also dies, will buyback instantly. Now Musica being pursued out. The Tinker is healthy. Tinker is alive. Storm will zip in. And he's just going to go top and try to split push now. So they have no Enigma for 70. And actually no buybacks on any of these heroes. Mineski will have a 5v2 for about 40 seconds, 5v3 for 60. But they have to fight through 3 towers.
And I don't think they want to buy back their Spectre as well. I think Jay just keeps on dying. They'd rather he farm an item or two. But well, for now, they're not going to do so here. The Storm used his buyback and deciding that's maybe enough for Mineski. This Storm has to be very careful if he does not want to die again.
Chains also has to be careful. BKB is cooling down.
Yeah. He has got buyback and Bloodstone charges though, so for the Tinker he's got a much higher.
But you don't want to die. You don't want to die here because your team can't buy back to turn it around.
Chain's got a lot of damage on that fight too. He got the permahex on the Jesse Vash to bring him down, and then later on help kill that Spectre off. But it's a bit of a problem for GoDz in the front. I think he did end up running into mana issues after that refresh. Didn't actually have a mana for that second Black Hole, but something where you have to be kind of wary of. It was one of those kind of all-in plays, like, you think you just got this big item, the refresher on Enigma, and you want to go fight, but if you don't have the mana for it, having that refresher ends up actually hurting you because you don't have buyback. It's your buyback money being spent to have this item, which you can't even fully use in a fight, so I think maybe CSW should have been a bit more patient looking for that pickoff.
Yeah, maybe he forgot to use the Soul Ring once or something. I'm not really sure. He should have enough with the refresher and the Soul Ring, if he has full mana. It's also, I guess it's possible he threw down like an extra Midnight Pulse that he maybe couldn't afford.
And you really want the Midnight Pulse is a huge amount of damage,
especially
like
versus Spectre. You really need it.
It's like the conversions of the dud spell. A Malefice is good sometimes.
It's pretty bad at this point. I think
the mech is a waste of mana in a lot of ways. But yeah, you definitely want to save your mana for double Midnight Pulse Black Hole. That's where the value's at.
When the dust settles, Storm did use his buyback. As far as Bloodstone charges go, he's only got 7, so it won't be a very fast respawn.
Try to find another pickoff.
And they're going to have double Black Hole in 50, so there will be a window here where Storm has 1 life. Gem was held onto by Tootie. RR still hanging on to the Mineski gem. It's still a CSW lead here, but it's not a huge one. As we hit that 57-minute mark. It's only game 1. Neither team going down after this, but it's going to give momentum pretty heavily to whoever takes it.
Yeah. CSW seem happy to keep on pushing things a bit deeper into this game. Musica has a long way to go before he's 6-slotted on the Mirana. Tinker has, well, pretty much all item slots filled up at this point, but is kind of toggling between different items. We'll have a BKB for a team fight, but Spectre Horn coming out.
They jumped GoDz. The Enigma has the double hole in 6 seconds, though. They got to be careful not to overcommit on GoDz. Quapple brings him down to 90 health. Oa comes in and finishes the job. Good start there as they follow up on the chains. He doesn't have the BKB. It's back at the well. He's going to die. He'll have to buy back instantly. Enigma doesn't have buyback, though, so they can't really fight this too easily. They're going to try, but it's without either of their black holes. Tootie on the chase. He has a lasso available. Maybe gets RR on the TP out. They'll drag the supports back, but it's 3 heroes going down with a Tinker buyback just for 2 Mineski supports. Not really worth it.
Yeah, and the Tinker had like a 25-30 second respawn time as well with the Bloodstone charges, so not really a time where you want to use that Tinker buyback. Yeah, it gets you the support kills and prevented Mineski from getting like a tier 2 tower mid. If you don't buy back your Tinker, Mineski maybe push for that, but I think that's a...
I'm not sure about the Lincoln Sphere. Yeah, it's nice against the Storm because in terms of the pull, but he's got pull, Hex, and Orchid. He's going to break that.
He can shift Q Orchid into Hex if he wants to.
I think you want to hang on to the BKB at least. Well, it might have been on cooldown. I think it wasn't on cooldown, but if it's on cooldown, maybe you grab the Lincolns. Else, I think the BKB's your item, GoDz. When he had the BKB, that was every other fight before that. He didn't die. That's the first fight where he's just sitting on the Lincolns and ends up going down.
Maybe not expecting a fight to break out there. Otherwise, he could probably exchange it for the Bloodstone before he TPs in, but...
They do have both gems now, though. Looks like Mineski lost their Skywrath gem after all that. Well, as far as late game goes, Mineski supports might be poor, but RR is building towards a Hex. He's got his ulti orb.
And you talked
maybe
about
that
this,
extra Hex.
You talked about this item. The Spectre is going into that Abyssal Blade. Has picked up the Skull Basher already, so Jay needs to kind of hold on to a bit more money for buyback and won't be getting it anytime super soon. But this game is looking like it will give him time to complete that Abyssal Blade.
Well, if history is our guide, that means it will end like almost immediately in one fight.
Bat swooping in.
Going for Jay. Gets off the lasso. The creep! No, he RTKs the lasso! And now they may look to counter-initiate here. Who are they going to jump on to start off the fight? Down in the river is GoDz, who BKB'd early. He's got a second life. But that means this first black hole, if he has to use it in the next 50 seconds, will be quite easily cancelled. So
They'll back off.
they're going to back off. The black hole will cool down long before the haunt does.
Tough. That's tough for your bat.
Oh, sorry, the BKB.
Getting the
long before
breaking the Lincolns with the
haunt.
Force and then getting the lasso always going to be a bit tricky to do in quick succession.
Even if he gets the Spect, I don't really know if they
not-
could have gone on that.
I'm not sure they kill him either.
The one issue is now, though, they don't have double BKB black hole for a potential Roche fight. And remember, Tinker did buy back. He's only got 9 Bloodstone charges. If he dies again, he's not going to be back in the fight quickly. At this stage of the game, level 25 Tinker, that's what, minus 36 seconds? You're still dead for like a minute or so.
Yeah, that's where that last Tinker buyback really hurts CSW. I don't think they can test this Roche. Also, Mineski actually sneaking in. They've smoked up. This is the 3rd smoke in a row. Mineski using all their smokes just to secure Roshan, which is... It's kind of nice. The first time I think it was a bit unnecessary. This one here is probably one of the more effective ones because it's something that CSW could contest, especially in 20 seconds with
They're
BKB.
just so slow at Roshi.
Well, they get scouted.
It's been scouted. Now Chain says wrong in
They're
all chat.
failing,
I'm not
yeah,
really
they
sure
are.
what that means, but BKB Bat comes in and very wisely Mineski get the hell out.
It's kind of nice when you have these 5-second BKBs in some ways because you can just
They're always
spam
ready.
them. Yeah,
even though they're lower durations.
this 55-second cooldown, you can just use it very preemptively and never have to think twice about, oh, it's gonna. I just hurt my cooldown.
They're just putting Jay in the pit for now. The Shaker's going to join him.
That's
Actually jumps
interesting.
back out. He forced in. He's going to blink out. They get an arrow on Jay, but that's really not a hero. Oh, are they going to go for it? BKB, Black Hole just to keep Jay out of the fight. It will be a completely deleted Spectre. Down to half health. He gets the bash of GoDz. Will he get one more? GoDz goes down without the second hole. Now Oa comes in. There is a Spectre buyback, but no Haunt to rejoin the fight. Musica arrows him in the face. Gets the kill. Chains, though, may die back here to Cuckoo. Where's the follow-up? They don't have it. He's gonna live. Cuckoo forced to run away on 40 HP. Man, they really want to kill off this stinking Storm, or this Tinker, but they just can't do it. Instead, they're gonna hunt the Mirana. Not really the hero they want at this point. They'll even commit a Hex. They'll get the Musica kill. Man, that bash. That bash.
What
If he gets off the double hole
hero
there.
bash. Ooh.
Oh, man.
That was the black hole, which is going to catch out 2 heroes and
Spectre does
win
not have
CSW
good
the
attack
fight.
speed. This hero has, it's barely more than an attack per second. He has no plus attack speed aside from Diffusal. That's pretty lucky. But Bimbo, to be fair, has had a lot of very unfortunate moments this game. Maybe he's due.
Aegis and Cheese coming the way of Mineski now.
Man, so CSW probably just thanking the lucky stars that the Tinker doesn't die there. At the very least.
So Aegis going to go the way of the Spectre. Cheese to your Storm Spirit.
This is generally the ideal distribution of items. You know, Cuckoo's been very quiet, GoDz, but he has quietly farmed up his next big item. We haven't seen much in a while.
He did well that last fight. Get that blink out on 50 HP and then Mirana chasing after him, and he kind of like baited Mirana in and then bought time for Storm to get there with a Hex with his Yules.
The
nice.
Tricore factor could come into play now. Also, do want to mention RR got his gem back. It's been musical gems this game. Or actually, no, he bought a new one, but otherwise they do have a gem now.
At this point of the game, it's like there's no point not having a gem even without any Invis heroes on the map. Well, there is on the case of the Moonlight Shadow for the Radiant side.
Yeah, Oa gets that Oblivion Staff. He's praying for a refresher.
Okay.
Not saving for buyback, though. To be fair, Shaker's going to have trouble getting to the fights if they're outside of his base, and the fights are likely to be outside of the Mineski base given that they... Uh-oh. Hold that thought. They're jumping in. They isolate the Bat Rider, but Jesse Vash has committed all of his mana. He may want to just cheese and run away for now. Gets lassoed into the black hole. Jay's also caught in this one. Remember, he bought back previously. They don't want to lose Jay. He has the Aegis, though. He dies the first time. Now the dunk from Owa ends your Enigma. They get 3. That's a Tinker dieback. 60 seconds on the sidelines. A minute before he can use his next buyback.
Well, the lanes
there
are
is a
pretty
tier
pushed
2.
out. Yeah,
I don't think they get racks yet, but they will be able to push all these lanes in and really cinch the noose a bit.
Musica getting caught out by Cuckoo here.
Has the BKB. May even be able to turn and fight this one.
Storm's coming, though, and he's coming fast with a Hex.
Big zip. Musica caught. Make it 4 dead. That's 95 seconds on the Mirana.
That's the big kill, too, because without a buyback, Mirana's on the sidelines for a very long time, and they could even threaten high ground now. They do want to be worried about Spectre not having a buyback, Queen of Pain not having a buyback. These Dire heroes, all 3 cores don't have buyback currently. So that's something where I think they'll be very cautious about risking going high ground with Tinker respawning in 15 seconds.
Well, they're just so anxious to get in. They're just tanking this backdoor regen, slowly whittling away at the tower. There's a glyph ready. Storm balling in. Oh, you do not want to be sitting away from your base right now.
Yeah, that's where you're just hoping that that Bat Rider's maybe positioned a bit too far forward.
Now, they did commit Aegis and Cheese for that fight. That is a lot to throw there. And Jay is now still 3 minutes off of buyback.
Yeah, and he's been... Jay's item progression in general this game has just never really seemed to grow in as much. You look at the Tinker, he's been permanently 6-7 slotted the entire game. Tinker's main issue has been having his buyback on cooldown. For Spectre, the buyback's always on cooldown, but he's also not farming items. He's 13k net worth behind the Tinker, although Tinker is completely too farm to the point where you can't hold all of these items. But Jay, you'd love an Abyssal Blade and even like a Boots of Travel or something to replace the Phase Boots at this stage.
Tinker just has too many jobs to do this game. At this point, you would really want to have a shotgun to go with your Dagon 5, but you can't because you need that defensive item. You need the Bloodstone to hopefully deny your opponents a lot of golden experience, and also just to, you know, have the reduced respawn timer, although at this point it's not a huge difference, but that minus 32 seconds does help. He's really slot limited is the issue we're seeing now. Mineski, though, hanging on there, getting close to that next Hex Gods at 66 minutes. RR has the Mystic Staff. He's got 13 Bloodstone charges. He respawns pretty fast.
That's pretty nice. And potential heal as well coming out for his team if he wants to do so in a fight.
I worry for CSW that it gets to the point this game where they just can't win without really good black holes because there's going to be triple Hex with a Spectre Abyssal. Like, how does Tinker not die to that?
We may already be... It feels like we're already at that point where without a huge black hole or huge black holes, they just lose the fights. You need your Bat Rider to get the pick off with the lasso, and then you've got to follow it up with at least one amazing black hole, or at least 2 black holes that both kill like a core hero. Like, you kill a Spectre with 1 black hole, and then you, like, all chances are Jay's buying back.
This could be the moment, though. Haunt was just used. As soon as the illusions from the Spectre disappeared, they did go for the smoke. Now, they show their Tinker mid. I feel like that almost gives this one away to some extent. Mineski just going to back the hell off. In general, just playing cautiously.
Yeah, Bat 5 flying around the Ancients in bottom lane. Not going to find anyone, so Mineski...
Roche is going to be at least 3 minutes off respawn, maybe 6. Quite some time here. It could be 4 minutes. It's going to be a quick Roche respawn.
Yeah, a lot of buybacks coming back up now as well. Just the Spectres that Mineski are waiting on.
Just Evash, the only one so bold as to leave his base. He farms 1 big camp, then right back to the tier 3. Game's going to slow down, and I guess it's a good time to check the smokes. Does anybody have one available on the Radiant? Nope, they don't have one for 8 minutes. Dire side have one in 3. So Mineski are going to have a smoke 2.5 minutes from now, right before the Roche respawns.
They love smoking for Roche too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the best. End of the day, you can like either get into Roshan or you can't. Whether you smoke there is not going to matter too much. I think using the smoke for the
first one was kind of sneaky because it was at a point where CSW probably weren't expecting a Roche, but at this stage of the game, when it's 68 minutes in, like everyone knows that Aegis Cheese are just game-changing, especially if buybacks have been used or are unavailable due to financial concerns.
Well, Both teams just farming what they can on their respective sides of the map. Definitely Tinker not wanting to take as much farm on the map as he once was. He does want to be pushing out lanes, but he has no room to grow item-wise. And will likely be just kind of leaving more farm towards Musica, 2D, even GoDz, making sure these heroes have buybacks as well. Like Enigma right now, 400 gold short. We'll be looking to pick buyback money up before another fight takes place.
They're drawing some lines down the top lane. Maybe CSW just want to try and trade here.
Base trade would be an interesting scenario. Neither team would crazy right-click push power.
In theory, CSW are slightly better. Although I guess Enigma's push power versus just a hero with items is pretty minimal.
Yeah,
I guess
they're both kind of
pretty
crappy.
They're both ass. Let's be honest.
You got Totem on the Mineski side, I guess. Enchant Totem, that's a pushing spell.
Yeah, you're looking at like 500, 600 damage auto attacks there every couple of seconds.
Base trade would just be a very like, oh, we took Rex, you took Rex, and
base trade would be like, we just want this game to end. Let's just get this one over with.
Let's get both teams mega creeps and see what happens, because this game could well go another 15, 20 minutes right now. Neither team really in the position where they want to make a mistake, and even Roshan not necessarily going to be a game changer once you look at heroes on Mineski being so slot limited. Your Spectre can't really carry an Aegis or Cheese unless he drops something like his BKB. Same for like a Storm can drop a gem, which is probably his next move, and gets the Skywrath or Earthshaker to carry it. Yeah,
I would agree. Even the treads, the attack speed's okay, but you can put something bigger in this slot. He doesn't really need boots. And if he does have boots, they should probably be BOTs at this stage.
So Mirana finishes a Manta style, gives up the buyback money, deciding... it's definitely, there's some justification to, like, if you die once, you're not really buying back into a fight and having a second go, unlike like a Spectre or a Storm could because of their mobility.
Or even Tinker, yeah.
Yeah, so
Mirana buyback's pretty ass. Even if you Moonlight Shadow, they're probably going to have a gem. There's just no point, really.
The only time it could come into play is if you're defending high ground. But I don't think CSW CSW should always be able to defend their high ground unless they're down heroes. And if they're down heroes, well, then Mirana buyback's not really going to come into play, so... I think it's probably a good move from Musica to forgo having the buyback, pick up his items as early as possible, get the Daedalus when he can even. The pause coming out, 70 minutes in, 6 seconds, and neither team able to break a racks just yet. Net worth very much in the balance, experience 20k, but these kind of numbers don't even really matter when you're 70 minutes in.
Well, at the rate we're going, Southeast Asia might not be done before Europe for Starladder is. We're still only in game 1 here, folks. This is a best of 3. We clipped the 70-minute mark. Happy birthday, Dota.
Wow. Who wins this game, LD?
I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to guess.
I don't know either.
I think Mineski should. If both teams play equally well, I think Mineski should, but... Mineski's had some really questionable moves this game.
I feel like it's
like that Jay haunt where like they get the kill on the, I think it was the Tinker mid or something, and then he just like haunts into 4 heroes and feeds. The storm jump bottom wasn't as bad from Jesse Vash, but was pretty risky play by him. I don't know.
Maybe 60-40 Mineski favored or something. Yeah. It's gonna very much come down to who's getting better jumps and just using their buybacks better, using the long cooldown ultis. At some point,
like, CSW just do not use farm that well anymore. Mirana's right clicks are never going to stack up against what Mineski bring to bear. Batrider's pretty much got everything he can buy. Enigma's already got the double hole. That's Ags would be a nice pickup, I guess, but realistically, it's probably not even going to be something he purchases this game. And Tinker can't use the gold, as you have been pointing out. Look, I think just... because Mineski is the gold better, they should win, but... Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Doesn't mean they will.
But I believe in the GoDz Enigma. Maybe my Australian bias kicking in, but, you know, I could see CSW. Well, we haven't actually seen that...
That's a bold claim, because it has been kind of this game.
Exactly. That's why I believe in it, you know.
He's due for a good hole.
Yeah. The law of averages, I feel. Like, I don't know if that actually... I'm just throwing out scientific jargon here, but the law of averages say he's due for a good black hole.
What's what's production think? He just snorted with a derisive laughter at your theory.
The producer just looks over at me, stares, and just snorts like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Rob is like, "What are you smoking, dude? You know, you were up all night drinking and pubbing, and now you're just spitting nonsense." The caster dream.
Look, LD, it's a numbers thing, okay?
Do we want to wager? Do we want to wager on this game?
As in which way is it going to go?
Little fireball.
Ooh. Yeah, okay. Look, I feel like it's close enough.
I'll go in on Mineski. You go in on CSW.
I'll just happily go against you because I feel like this game's close enough to go either way. And I'm
to be fair, every time I've
to spice things up.
Jay's really I like his item progression. Then he buys the blade mail, which didn't do anything for him.
I like my odds of just going against you because of that.
Mineski, you're finally gonna start getting some map control back. Bam! They immediately die. Ooh, Tinker's picked up a new item. He should be harder to kill. Bam! He died. The caster curse has been strongest against me, so. Alright. We'll do 1-to-1 odds. I agree with you. I think it's close.
We can do that.
You like that cinnamon stuff, huh?
It's good, you know? Got that nice little balance of, I don't know, everything.
Of everything.
Balance of everything. Most importantly, balance of
balance
of booze to booze.
They just poured a bunch of crap and just this weird swill was built.
The art of cocktail making is all about balance of you want to have the acidity of something like a kind of a citric fruit like a lemon or lime to balance out the booziness of a true cocktail, which is normally majority is alcohol. Like a true cocktail doesn't have a bunch of juice in there, and you have to kind of mask the alcohol with lime juice or something along those lines. I don't know. So it's all about balance when it comes to drinks. Less so Fireball. Fireball is not a classy drink. Let's be honest here. This is not your high rollers choice of beverage.
I'm standing in solidarity here with my Pinoy brothers. I'm an honorary Pinoy GoDz.
Okay.
They crowned me one a couple of years ago. I think you used to be, but now your allegiances must be called into question.
You have Australia playing, LD. I can't do it,
If you're a Filipino viewer, folks, feel free to unfollow GoDz on Facebook.
Yep. I apologize.
No mercy.
But, some things come first, and
I have true Pinoy pride.
Well, it looks like both teams are ready.
I guess it could always be worse. We could always be Lumi. Do you remember that? Do you remember the TI3 qualifiers? Where Lumi was just flaming them so hard. That was when Dreams, to be fair, Dreams made that ridiculous prediction. When Jules was playing for them, they were we're going to
win the qualifier or something.
Well, no, they said we're going to destroy everyone, and then
0-22.
0-22 versus LGD, I think it was, or maybe it was another Chinese team. It was just it was ugly. I'm still a believer though, folks. Busion. Well, we may not even get to see the climactic ending here. Someone's checking something. Okay. We resume. The battle begins again. So much theory crafting that could be done. But the item slots are dwindling. A lot of heroes just running out of room. Well, GoDz, it's a 2,000 net worth difference at 70 minutes. You don't see that very often.
Not at all. It's no racks taken at 70 minutes is impressive in itself as well.
Actually, no tier 3s even.
Yeah. There's still a T2 on the map.
Mid towers have not been touched. Yep. Yeah, there's actually the tier 2 here.
That is... it's crazy sauce. It's very much neither team having actual right-click damage to push anything out here. Spectre not really a traditional right-click carry. It is a great, amazing late-game carry, but for other reasons. And Mirana kind of a pseudo semi-carry as well.
Jade can finally buy that Abyssal if he so chooses. He should have buyback now.
That's good. 4K surplus. Yep, he's there.
Roche has respawn, and that Courier's on the move.
Both teams, I believe, see it. The Die Courier about to fly on over. Radiant have the Enigma Idol on, so...
yeah.
Here we go. They get the Abyssal Blade, and Jade's going to look to bring this one down. May leave his BKB at base, even drop the Diffusal Blade's another possibility. I think Jay having an Aegis is probably one of their best bets, even if it means dropping one of these big items of his.
Yeah. Ideally, you'd love to get rid of the boots, but Spectre really needs the move speed. I guess it's got to be the defusal.
Even the Radiance? Like, is your Radiance as crazy good as it once was?
I think you can replace Radiance with another item, but I think it's about as good or maybe even a little better than defusal. Yeah. It's kind of close.
Similar.
Arrow's going to hit, though. This Roche is low. Aegis not clean yet. It's on the ground. And Tootie snatches it. Then the hole, it catches out 3, but it is ended as Jay will try to turn the tide to this fight. Hole. He has buyback. Everybody in the game has buyback right now, but CSW might be able to force some out after that amazing jump in. Cheese, I didn't even see what happened to it, to be honest.
You doubted the law of averages, LD. You can't deny scientific number thingy-majigs.
They have buybacks. All right, it's not over yet for Mineski.
There is another black hole. I don't know if he hasn't got another hole like that in there. That's the problem now. GoDz just used up his good black hole, so this next fight may go Mineski's way.
You never know. But yeah, hole is ready.
9 buybacks in play.
Oh, Jesse Vash going in to start the fight. Wants to bring down Musica here. Can't quite do it. But Tootie is just on the hunt. That fresh lasso is coming out. Man, that's unfortunate for Mineski. A little sloppy. Somebody should have been ready to grab the Aegis there, but
that timing, getting there as Roche went down, meant Mineski were entirely grouped for that black hole.
And they found their lasso. The black hole number 2 could come out. He does have a BKB ready. Jesse Vash will be caught. Will be finished off. Has the buyback. They've got triple buyback, and they're going to have to use at least 1 or 2 here. Possibly all 3. Tower about to fall. TP comes in from the Tinker. They'll bring the whole squad back again. Maybe they just sack a lane of racks. No, they double buyback. Mineski do not want to give up any objectives. There's your zip from Jesse Vash. He'll jump all around. GoDz holding on to his black hole for now. This may cost Tootie his life in the hesitation. No, gets off the hole. 3. It's on 3. 2 cores surviving. Spectre going to respawn. Now they do lose the Skywrath gem. Hits the deck. Tootie will
and Spectre has buyback
while he's a sheep.
So
okay, there's no holes now for 80 seconds, 90 seconds.
CSW piecing out. They're not going to get a Rax here. This game's going to go 80+ minutes.
You do not want to. Ideally, you don't want to fight until you have double black hole. And I think if you're Mineski, you either fight now or you try and take the next Roche. I feel like those are your 2 big options. And it's very risky to fight now that they've blown 2 big buybacks.
They do have the Spectre at least, so he can be like the front line, tanking everything, forcing people onto him, but it's still tough. It's still very, very tough for Mineski to end this game. Neither team can really end the game because they don't push. Like, you win a team fight, you can't take Raxes. Like, you normally have like a Luna, a Troll, a Jug, whatever it may be. You take a Rax in like 3 seconds or something.
Oh, this is a game-changing item. The Ags are coming out on the Enigma.
Oh, that is huge
Triple
damage.
Midnight Pulse hype.
Oh, God, that is...
Ugh, disgusting.
Doesn't even... Like, if you can just get off a black hole, it just means that 1 black hole does so much more damage now as well. Like, that last second black hole he got in the high ground there, that would have done a lot more damage to those 3 heroes he caught.
Mineski are being very brave to pop their heads out and farm waves right now. Well, last time we saw GoDz get a new big item like the Refresher, he just ran down mid and kind of fed, so we'll see if he shows a little more discipline this time around. Hey, Marana's got a Daedalus soon. Musica could buy it now, but wants to save for buyback. A Refresher, Bat Rider coming. I mean, CSW are, like, they're getting to the point where they actually can't buy anything. Mineski...
Chains has been like, he's sitting on 735 last hits. He's got 9k with a 7-item Tinker.
It's one of those weird situations where you don't want to take the team's farm, but you do want to push out the lanes. Yeah, it's kind of going to balance the 2.
It's a bit of a tough spot for him. They've got this good gem stash going down in the Radiant base as well.
Oh yeah, they're starting a collection here.
Getting pretty rich here. Skywrath, though, has his new gem, hasn't bought his Scythe of Vice. I think the buyback probably a little more important. You're out of Skywrath, but you buy back, it means likely the BKBs are on cooldown, so you can actually use your nuke damage to good effect. And his silence was actually what cancelled the black hole that last fight about halfway through the duration. So that was actually pretty important that Skywrath was alive for that last fight.
But we have seen you don't need the full duration black hole. No, just a couple of seconds is often all it takes. Well, Mineski now just a little nervous about how this game is developed. It's got to feel like, man, we got Spectre Storm late game. We should have this in the bag, but that's not the case. CSW Already taken down a tier 3. Dire Glyph is on cooldown as well. That is worth keeping an eye on. It could be the difference maker that causes them to not just lose like a single Rax, but maybe even 2-3 lanes all at once. Jesse Vash will pick up a plate mail. Looks like he wants a Shiva's Garden Axe. It just doesn't feel like any item is going to win this game at this point. It's much more about buybacks, hitting your spells.
There's a few nice items here or there, but nothing crazy. The refresher, like Stash Refresher for Jay on the Spectre is probably one of the bigger ones, having a double Haunt, double BKB, Abyssal, and all that.
I think that's your next item. And then maybe you replace the Radiance and or the Diffusal with like Butterfly, possibly Manta, or even Scotty.
This is Refresher Dota. We're going to see a lot of refreshers this game with Bat picking up one for himself. Tinker, by the way, sneaky little item, has gone for a Dominator to get a creep, which he's going to try... Where is his creep?
It's
okay,
a shitty little melee creep.
You know,
by the way, there's just a Force Staff just chilling here. Yeah.
Whose Force Staff is that?
I don't even know. Oh, there's a huge fight breakout. Well, busy looking at that in the mid lane. GoDz does start off the fight. They have the double hole available. He casts the first one. Nice start to the fight. They bring down that Shaker. He used a buyback earlier. Can't rejoin the fight. Now the second hole catches Jay. Jesse Vash as well. There is a Spectre buyback. Storm surviving, though. They've used their holes. Do they have anything left in the tank? Where's that Spectre buyback? Not using it. Doesn't have the Haunt. As everybody on CSW just spamming that hotkey ASAP. Cuckoo gonna TP out. They will have 4 out of 5, but crucially, they will not have the Shaker. No holes left. Actually, no lassos. He used both. I think his first lasso even started the fight there mid. While I was busy admiring the useless range creep as well as the Force Staff on the deck.
Hey, this creep's a Observer Ward, you know?
Yeah.
It's a 1900 gold permanent Observer Ward. When you have unlimited gold, you know that...
Permanent until someone sees it, then.
Yeah. You get another one then, I guess.
All right, Manta.
They ping out the Force Staff. I'm really curious.
This isn't one of those games where it's worth just watching Chain's first person at this point, just to see how well he's able to micro all these items. Gets the Manta, very nice pickup on Tinker. If like the Spectre Abyssals an illusion or something, or you're able to just Manta dodge an incoming stun, that can be a game changer. Well, maybe CSW was a little rash with their buybacks. They blew 2 on the Mirana and Tinker, and it didn't really feel like there was much of a threat.
They're jumping to theirs. Mineski always very conservative, and that's working out for the most part in Mineski's favor. At the same time, I guess CSW, as soon as they need to make sure they win the fights, because if they don't, Black Hole's on cooldown, and then they lose their base. So they're like, we'll use as many buybacks as possible to ensure that the fight without Black Holes we win, and then we can buy time while Mineski wait for heroes to respawn. If Mineski want to try and punish the Black Hole cooldown, they had to buy back there, and they're just like, let's play it safe, let's not buy back, let's go somewhere else. Jay picks up a Butterfly. I don't know what this really does this game. I don't feel like it does much at all. His illusions do a bit more damage, a bit more split push potentially, but it doesn't seem like it's a high impact item. I think the Refresher would have been better, but this is late game Dota. You never really know what's going to be. What's going to work.
It's also like, I don't know if you want to. I feel like you want to be holding the BKB. Maybe you replace like the Diffusal with the Butterfly, but in terms of your illusion damage output, to me it's like more. It's less about the illusions doing a little more damage from the burn, and more about like getting that extra attack speed to maybe have an Abyssal proc from your hero that just wins you the fight, or a Bash proc, I should say.
80 minutes in, man. We're looking to maybe break some records with this game, because still not a single Rax has been claimed.
I think that might be a record, to not have any Raxes even claimed at 80 minutes in a pro game.
This is insane.
I mean, there have been some really long Dota 2 games. We're still like 40 to 60 minutes off of the record, but for game length. But as far as no Raxes claimed, this might be the record. If not, it's got to be closing in on it.
So Roche back up. The Tinker Observer Ward has scouted it. And we'll see. I don't know how much it matters to Roche. An Aegis is probably going to go to like a Vengeful Spirit if you're CSW. If you're the Dire side, it's probably like an Earthshaker. Spectre doesn't really have the space for it. CSW are going to sneak it.
Is it their turn to sneak a Roshan?
Okay.
Dire team has no clue.
This will make someone like a Venge or potentially a Mirana could drop your Maelstrom. I mean, Maelstrom not really that big of an item right now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Enigma maybe grabs it.
Yeah, he'll drop his Maelstrom. Music are going to grab at least something here. Yeah, he gets the H. And not having buyback is really the big worry here for CSW, so... This is where Dota gets weird at this stage of the game.
This is where you want those explosions.
I'm hoping for it. Maybe it'll
I still remember that one game where the game actually started breaking in the middle of a cast. It was like 100 minutes in. It got super glitchy. There was actually just like holes opening up in the ground. That was one of those things that was one of the best bugs ever, and I'm very sad that Valve patched out. This is big though. CSW have only had the Tinker Hex. Now they get a double Hex on their Enigma. Also solves any remaining mana issues GoDz might have had, although with the Ags, those were mostly resolved. Now, can he actually cast everything in the chaos of the fights? Maybe one Abyssal Blade just kills him while he's busy trying to be, you know, microing everything.
And even just juggling, like, not using a Hex on a Lincoln Sphere or something.
You can't even be...
Yeah.
Just, priority number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are getting off good black holes, and then priority number 7 is getting your Hexes off wisely.
See Mineski's next move. Not many buybacks up, just 4 around the map. That was actually for the first time in a long time. There was like 0 buybacks a couple minutes ago, but some of them coming back up. The Dire side with their 3 cores all have buybacks. So CSW taking kind of the higher risk play, buying these big items. The Hex on your Enigma, the Mirana going to have the Aegis with buyback and cooldown.
This is the GG rune. They've scouted it out.
No one's got a bottle though.
Oh.
I don't know if no one does right-click damage.
You just stand next to this as Spectre. Spectre does right-click damage.
Yeah.
He's got 4, well, now 600.
You die in the black hole is the big problem here.
Yeah.
It's always about the buyback haunt in, I guess, now.
They just got to find a way to jump this Enigma. If Enigma dies, CSW have almost no chance to take a fight if he doesn't get off like at least one decent black hole first. Whereas I feel like Mineski, there's no one here that dies and they just lose the fight. Maybe Spectre, but he's going to buy back. They're going to haunt now. They will find GoDz off on his own top lane. Do they want to jump him? No, goes in on Tootie to start the fight. Jay initiating with the DD rune. Can he get the kill? He brings down Tootie. They also jump GoDz. GoDz's going to die as well. Now he is unable to buy back. That might be game. 100 seconds on the sideline.
You are pushing into a Tinker.
Mid lane's at the tower though. Like you should, I think you just go mid here if you're Mineski.
Yeah, I don't think
they don't. They might not know.
Tower.
Did they see that Enigma Hex? Do they realize that means he doesn't have buyback?
I'm
not sure about.
Just a Bat buyback alone though will scare them because they don't know about the Enigma buyback status.
Yeah.
So if Bat blink lassos someone and then like the Enigma buyback happens as that occurs, you're in trouble.
Storm balls in again, looking for these game-winning picks. He'll get nothing this time. Arrow comes out, the zap on the Cuckoo. Oh, barely stops traveling before it hits Oa.
As unfortunate as it is, I think the smart move from Mineski here is to back off because they don't know the Enigma buyback status. It's just too big of a risk to push and lose a fight to Enigma buyback that it's just not worth it. So
even if they see the Hex, like the safe smart play is just to buy Hex when you have buyback.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can't even assume because you saw a new item that he doesn't have it.
There may be at
85 minutes in the game. Anyone's like mental math and their ability to calculate if someone has buyback, it's just gone. There's been too many there's too many variables that can change. They could have missed too much CS, spent too much time with their team, or maybe they were really efficient in the jungle for 30, 40, 50 minutes of the game.
It could be like 90% sure he doesn't have buyback, but that 10% is, whoop, you just lost your whole team and have to go through all your core hero buybacks and potentially lose the game.
They're also waiting out the Aegis, which is going to end soon. I think that's the big thing here for Mineski is by getting those jumps and forcing out the Bat buyback, they also put CSW on the back foot until the Aegis is gone. Now CSW fight without it.
Well, the Spectre Haunt probably as well. The Spectre Haunt, like you kind of mentioned, like going for the Enigma is always going to be a big thing here because you can haunt on the Enigma and abyssal him and try bring him down during that. It's going to be kind of the money as far as Mineski concerned. Maybe that's where the butterfly is nice. Very single target damage. If you can try and stun lock an Enigma when you go on him with an abyssal, that's going to be one way of winning a team fight. So I think Jay is going to very much be looking to either go on that Enigma or the Bat Rider. Those are the two heroes which win CSW team fights. There's a refresher on your Bat, so he's got double ulti as well. And the way they're using Black Hole is it's very similar to a lasso, just for the one hero kill. There's a lot more damage output from the Black Hole because it is an Ag Scepter, though. LD, this game is not finishing. There is no end in sight. You're dreaming.
Let's just get through this game. Without any more pauses, please. You know, between the Australians and the Pinoids, I guess it's inevitable. There was going to be some pauses this series.
You know, it's an 85-minute game, but there's not been very many.
It's been like
pauses,
15, 20 minutes of pauses, I think. At least 10.
Yeah, maybe 10, like 5 each, potentially.
There should be a... You know what? They should actually have a way in the game to track how long each team's paused.
Well, hopefully Valve will listen. Maybe they'll do that for us.
It just would make an admin's life easier as well, because most tournaments nowadays do have rules as far as how much pause time teams are allowed, and that way you're not like saying it's 10 minutes, but you know, how do you really prove it to the team? And most teams are going to say no, it wasn't. So
how many refreshes is enough? We get another one coming
Double
out.
Hex on Cuckoo. All right, I can dig it.
This is
Spectre is quietly caught up in net worth. For what it's worth, Jay is pretty much even with the Tinker now.
That's like a 9-slotted Tinker and a 7-slotted Spectre with excess gold too.
Yeah, he's got a lot of smaller items on this Tinker though, like your Blink Dagger, Bottle, Dominator, Soul Ring.
At this point, whether you're like 35k net worth or 45k net worth, it's like they're the same thing.
The one item that Jay could buy is Refresher. Though that is still that is the one item in this entire.
He's got it actually. He's just bought it.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, okay. I was like doing the math in my head. I'm like, I feel like he has to have more items than what's showing.
So he can buy. He can use the haunt to start a fight, and then if he dies, he has buyback with the Refresher.
You know, this GoDz going back to the draft. How glad are Mineski that they banned Necrophos now?
Oh, God,
imagine if they had the Necrophos with an eggs. Bimbo would have almost certainly died once, so that could be game. As they will jump in with a haunt to start off the fight. Where's the follow-up, though? They hex Tootie. They try to initiate and bring him down. Dunk comes out from Oa. Not really the best one, but GoDz used BKB #1. He'll take a Queen of Pain ult to the dome. Jay is caught out. Refreshes and tries to go in for the hole here. He'll get it on 2, but Jesse Vash just auto-attacking him this whole time. Spectre's buyback. 3 heroes on the sideline. None of them have it. This could be the end. Chains gonna go down. He's the one hero that's got the buyback, but GoDz, I think that's it. No black holes. Nobody available to rejoin the fight. The Haunt Vision seems like it's what's winning them the game. Just haunting. It's like a Zeus, basically.
And CSW just haven't been able to get the farm needed for these buybacks. The Enigma's not had buyback for a while. Neither has the Batrider. It's all up to Chains, and he's getting caught out here. No buyback on your Tinker. This is it. He gets the Storm, but Storm can just come right back in.
This is it. Mineski hanging tough here at 88 minutes. They will finally, in one of the sloppiest back-and-forth slugfests you'll ever see, force that game 2 and go into it with a 1-0 advantage. They'll now work on the throne, and I think at this point they have finally realized that this game is theirs. They probably can't believe it. It's nearly going to hit the 90-minute mark before it's all said and done, and well, now we're gonna have to negotiate over how long the pause is. GoDz, that'll be our next challenge here.
Oh man, what an insane game coming out from these two teams.
Only game 1.
A bit sloppy, but I gotta say this has been the most like patient and impressive I've seen Mineski like ever as a team. Normally this is a team known for just like throwing games and like crazy aggression, but this game around, they were always erring on the side of caution. And with good reason.
Their mid game was really sloppy, but their late game, like the last 30 minutes, was very, very disciplined.
Yeah,
especially by Mineski.
The way they played the last 30 minutes of that game was very good. There was a few opportunities where maybe you put like a team in another team like a EG or a Secret in their position, and they maybe make a more ballsy play to try and end the game, go for a